Hello, good morning. Hope you're doing great. Morning looks good. Right, am I audible to you all?
Yes, ShriLearning. Good morning.
Fantastic, fantastic. Okay, your day has passed so fast, right? Just now we feel like we learned yesterday, and again another day has come. So how is it? Did you were able to go through some writing habits? I saw some of you written it, posted it. Appreciate that you did it. Good. Do anyone read through any topic in a day of time? Pretty high, right? Within one day, reading is going to be tougher. Okay, good. Let's go on. Hey, thanks a lot for being here on time. People here, good morning. And some of them should be the early evening in the time. Thanks for being here. And some of them in the YouTube, appreciate your time to come and listen over this live session. We'll learn some more topic today. In the sense, we'll go some deep inside into Scrum and extreme programming. And before that, let me check everything is good for you. Audio, video, everything is coming up well. Right. I know it's a Sunday morning. It'll be slightly lazy mode. I understand. We're ready to pick up the speed. We just got up 15 minutes back or got up an hour back. It's still in the drowsy mode. I had to get a coffee, got a kickstart. So I have a paper pencils next to you to write down something what you learn so that you get active. In an hour of time, you'll be pretty active. We have a few more people to join and let all get inside. Meantime, I'll bring up the content. Meantime, can I assume that most of you are comfortable with your communication board? You're able to travel through that and see the material and other needed content for the exams. Okay.
Yes, ShriLearning. We can download some of the books.
Perfect. That's great. That's great. I'm just pulling up the content where we stopped yesterday. So that will kickstart. Okay. Just confirm you're able to see the screen, what I'm sharing right now. Okay, you can keep your cam and mic off mode. I appreciate that. Let's get to the subject. Right, first thing, being active is so good in the sense of weekends, you're utilizing in a very efficient way. You should be happy. Your weekends are well spent. It's so easy to be into different form, like sleeping late, or maybe get into another activity, watching movies and spend time. Yes, that's also good if you like it. But beyond that, spending time for your growth is really good. So you're putting your time in the right place. So feel happy for it. But even though you put in a right place, you have to materialize it. What is happening here is for some of us, I know that once you pay the fee for any learning process, they feel they've done a great thing, after which they don't do anything. Either they attend the class or sometimes they don't attend the class. Even the class is happening, their mind will be somewhere else. So you've taken a first step to come forward to learn something. So the next step is be attentive on what you do. If you're taking a task, be 100% on that. If not, no point in taking the task. Okay. Since because you took this action, the world is not going to appreciate you. You should complete it. You have to get a feel that you have done it. It's called a sense of accomplishment. You have to do that. Only then you will start growing. That is the reason many people join the university. Only few people outshine. Many people run in Olympics. Only few become a medal holder. The reason is they go till the end. So what's the point here is when you come to this class as a learning process, be very attentive. In a sense, close all the distractions. It could be a mobile, in the same computer having multiple screens open, close it all. Just be there. Like how much ever you can listen, be attentive so that your learning process goes forward. Right? That's very important. Okay, thanks once again for being here. People are very early morning, some of them it's going to be late in the night. Appreciate it. Anyone still in the middle of the night? Very early in the morning? 3, 4, 5. Pretty good morning, Shriram. Okay, let's get inside. And yesterday we started ACP and also PMP. PMP, as you all know, it's a big group of people. A lot of excitement happened. And for information, we have this weekly test. Weekly test is talking about Agile. That is Sunday. Today we'll have a weekly test, 3:30 p.m. IST. 3:30 p.m. IST. You have an Agile exam. Kindly be there in this exam so that you can take a test of 40 questions to see what you know. Of course, many questions you may not know if you are very new to Agile, because this is so broader exam, covers all the paper, all the subject. That's okay. Go ahead and be there and participate and see, is this learnable? Because you cannot be expert on the first day. It will take time, but please participate. Rahul will help you with some link where you have to create your user ID and password so that you get an account to start your exams. Now, this is happening in ShriLearning portal. So obviously you should have a user ID password so that you can track yourself how you're performing. So from today, it's going to start. If some of you in the different time zone, you will take a little late time. I would have explained it earlier also. If not, you can take this test at your own time, but be in the group. When you be in the group, chances are your learning process will be faster. We are, what to say that we call social animal, right? So we need the people around us. All alone, if you want to do certain things, you can do certain things you cannot do. It will be like a little tough. You need double the effort. Whereas when you have people around you, you will start traveling. I keep talking about Mumbai trains. I believe some of you would have been Mumbai trains or heard about Mumbai trains. You don't need to really strain hard. You have to go be there in the railway station or platform. The rest of people will take care of. They will onboard you, offboard you. They'll take you inside, drop you out wherever you want to go. So it's a crowd drives you. So same way, sometimes you have to be in the crowd. Keep going, right? So just be in the crowd, keep going. Like you can be unique in some places, but be in the crowd. That's very important. All right, there somebody says, oh yeah, that is the correct direction. That's good. Mumbai trains are very famous for crowd movement. How is it with the COVID? Things have changed, are still the same? Okay, let's move a little more. Here Rahul is giving a link. Just click this link, create a user ID password, because today 3:30 when the exam starts, you should not struggle with the user ID password by the time. If you are prepared, it's good for you. Okay, from yesterday, now I'm moving to the next screen, talking about something on incremental and iterative approach. This could be one of your writing habits. I saw some of you have written it. Was it good writing it yesterday? You all felt good drawing that, writing down? How much of time it was taking for you to write it? Do you even have a timeline? 10 minutes, 5 minutes, 15? 10 minutes, okay. 2 minutes, man. Balaji, so fast. Balaji, you took a Xerox copy or you written it? 2 is pretty fast, nice. 5. Okay. Okay, 5 minutes. Okay, good. Until you do that, that's really good. 2 to 5, I think is a decent. But people are so fast. You should take a little extra time. People are very cautious, but I saw good handwriting as well. Some of you were able to take time to properly draw that. But tell me that while you write, are you getting some connection to the content? Because when you draw and write, your brain starts seeing something there, which you don't usually watch when you read. A lot of things when you read, you won't watch, but when you write, your brain starts watching down. Okay, so a good thing you've done it. Now continue this habit for some time so that you get hold of it. Okay, let's jump to the content. Now, here what we have something called predictive and adaptive. So let's learn some factors. Of course, we know these content a little bit at the high level, but at the same time, you will see why we go for iterative, why we go for incremental. In the books, if you can see here, this picture is explaining that two areas are there, x-axis and y-axis. Yesterday we saw something about for technical degree and requirements, right? That's what we saw yesterday. Today we'll see low here. Again, I'll give a number. Low could be 1, high could be 10. I'm just giving a number. Okay, there is no specific number. You can have your own number. So 1 to 10 I'm having here. Now, point here is a degree of change. How much it can change? Max is 10 points. Highest changes. Frequency of delivery. How early they want delivery, and also how frequently they want. Frequency here can be every hour, every day, every week, every month, every year, every 10 years. It's up to us. Frequency doesn't mean always very frequent. Frequency can be pretty longer, shorter. There are certain flowers in certain mountains. Their frequency is 12 years. Some of the flowers frequency is 7 years. Some of them are every day. So frequency can be different. It depends on the customer expectation. Customer says, we want every 2 weeks, I want some delivery. That's called going to be iterative way, right? Incremental way. So let's see some factors here. Degree of change. Now, when you know things at the low level here, in the sense you are able to see degree of change is very low. Change in the sense of requirements, expectations from the customer. So these are all going to be pretty low. Then I'm fine. I can predict things. Also, the frequency of delivery. I can deliver 1 shot, maybe 2 shots. That's fine. So I can go with a predictive approach where I can plan well, develop it, test it, and deliver it. Still, we have a lot of products like this where you don't need to be so much eager, urgent to give it. You take your own time, come back. But slowly things are changing all over the world. That's why you are in Agile classes today. What is happening currently in the last 30, 40 years? The things have changed a lot. The changes are so high. The degree of change is very high. People want something latest, something relevant, and their mind says, no, not this. Why don't do that? Why don't do this? How many times you order something in an Amazon or a Flipkart and you change again? You feel, no, I don't like this. Let's go other one. Or you choose an item, keep it in the shopping cart for a long time because the degree of change is high. Your mind is not accepted. Okay, let's think of it. Let's do something more. So degree of change is very high in the market because options are high. That's where you have to understand. The options are very high. People are getting more options these days. They don't want to stick with you. They can go anywhere. Also, the market is changing because of the speed, technology. Now, with all this stuff, what's happening here is that when the changes keep coming to you, it's called iterative, repeatedly. Repeatedly, customer is going to reach out to you with a different thought process. Every time they come with a new idea, new thought process, keep adding. So sometimes you predict well in advance and start the work. Sometimes you will wait. Highest thing is iterative, very iterative, in the sense that they come again and then again. Iterative means repetition. Repeatedly, you're going to get requirements from the customer. Every 2 weeks, every week, every month. That doesn't mean the old work will be changed. The work done is done. Maybe little addition can happen, but new work can be changed as you move forward iteratively, right? Now, what's happening? Frequency of delivery. So frequency of delivery is how early they want delivery. Some customers, as I said, a week, a couple of weeks, a couple of months. So they keep asking for delivery. How we give that? Okay, let's put an example here. Let's take the example which I usually call it out, a restaurant example, because restaurants are well connected. Of course, in COVID, we didn't go, but we'll take it up. Say I'm going to the restaurant, and there are days where in my school days, I remember when I go to restaurants, we order everything in advance. We sit for 15 minutes, food comes there, we have it. Very predictive way. Very predictive. I know this is the food. I know this is the order. They'll come. Now what's happening? If you now go to the restaurants these days, it's very iterative nature. The degree of change is very high. That too, if you go with a family, each one has a different requirements, and iterative, very high changes. So first they start with some starters. Some families straight away, kid will ask, I want an ice cream. Of course, you got to start with an ice cream for the kids. So things of changes are very high here. So the barrier here who notes down what all you want and write down in a paper or a digital pad and pass the message to the cooking department. Now, iteratively. Iterative in the sense could be of every 15 minutes or every 5 minutes, this person comes to you. So anything more you're looking for? And you will tell, okay, yeah, get me this pop-up, get me this starters, get me this main course, get me this ice creams. So you keep asking based on the service, based on the taste of the food, based on your family's expectation. You keep adding, changing. Of course, we're going to have a lunch. Of course, we're going to have a dinner. That's a whole goal. That's a whole scope. That's a scope of the project. Scope of the project is a dinner with family. Fantastic. But still, inside that, I don't know what all we're going to eat. Dinner, I know. But in dinner, what are they going to have? Some will say, I want a rice. Some says, I want naan. Some says, I want a bread. This, I don't know when I was driving the car from home to the hotel. I know we are going to have a dinner, but I don't know all the ingredients. I don't know what are the sub-items there. This, my family can decide on the fly. But overall, it's a dinner time. So iteratively, I'm going to ask the bearer, do you have that? And serve me. And they serve you. That happens. It's iterative. Now, when I come repeatedly, now let's see how high the change and the degree of delivery. The frequency of delivery is pretty high that every 2 weeks to every month, we get delivery in projects. If you take the hotel example, every 5 minutes, you're going to get something keep delivered on the table. The old thing get cleared or any corrections to be made. Sometimes they come and ask, sir, how is the spice? We say it's pretty spicy, this particular food. Or really, shall we make it another one, less spicy? Okay, please. So they take it back and give a new one, possibly. Or sometimes you say, fine, it's okay. Let's carry on. Let's not waste the time here. Let's go another item. So point is, there is a possibility that iteratively, incrementally, you keep adding items to the table. Same way what you have your WhatsApp, same way what you have your Facebook, same way could be on some places in infrastructure or construction. The changes can come in iteratively. Iterative is until you get the perfection, you keep moving on. Write down in a paper, writing as perfection until you get perfection. All right. So until you get the perfection, the correction, you keep going iteratively until you reach a place. Incrementally is a place where we use for the term called speed of delivery. We go for speed, right? So you can use the word speed. Now, speed is how early you can deliver something. So you break into small boxes and deliver it. Can I do this for all the project? Maybe not. Some projects you cannot do. You have to wait. For some projects you can do. It has an option to deliver as a small pieces. So iterative is for perfection and incremental is for speed. When speed and perfection joins together, that's called agile. And that could be one of the reasons agile is super good. From predictive, continuum is traveling. It's a journey. It's a journey of moving from predictive way towards agile way, where you have a high level of iterative, high level of incremental, where the speed and perfection coming together, and that gives agile. You can see some people in sports, they shine really well because of their speed of the game and their perfection in the game. Cristiano Ronaldo has a good speed in the game on the ground, also good perfection towards what they play, right? And you can see Bruce Lee. Bruce Lee was pretty famous. The reason is pretty good speed and perfection. Usain Bolt, pretty famous for athletic ability, good speed, good perfection. So people with a good speed, good perfection become super good ahead. So what you learn agile today, it's not new. It's happening for so many years, but we didn't realize that as a team, can we have this perfection speed? To bring a perfection speed for a team, that's called agile. So for this, do I need to choose only software industry? I would say no. In fact, in infrastructure, in construction, you can see where you can improve the perfection, where you can improve the speed. There could be a place, there could be opportunity. If you do that, you are agile. As simple. You got some idea now what we talk about iterative, incremental? Hope it helps you. All right. Let's move a little more and talk about the Agile Triangle. Right, Agile Triangle. So this triangle is something called inverted triangle. This has been introduced in the methodology called DSDM, Dynamic System Development Methodology. In 1994, this was written down. There are a lot of objections for this when it was written down. Why? I'll tell you. If you come from the PMP background, older one, not now, recent one covers both agile and non-agile. The days before in PMP, it was written like this. A scope will be finalized. Based on the scope, you will have a time and cost also decided. It's called as triple constraint. In triple constraint, you know scope baseline. Based on scope baseline, we have time baseline, cost baseline. Ideally, requirement will be known well in advance before you start the work. This is for so many years. Okay. And meantime, Agile is emerging. And in Agile concepts, the idea here is we may not fix the requirement. We keep the requirement as variable. You can see the word variable. Whereas we will finalize the time and money. Let's say I want my first MVP. MVP means minimum viable product. Minimum viable product. I'm expecting a minimum viable product to be done in, let's say, 4 iterations. 4 iterations. One iteration is 2 weeks, for example. It's almost 8 weeks of time, isn't it? 8 weeks. 8 weeks is how many months? 8 weeks can be of 2 months. In 2 months, I'm expecting my team to deliver something called MVP, something usable. 2 months is a decent time. Let's say there is a shopping cart like maybe there's an e-commerce site like Amazon. Now in 2 months, that's 4 iteration. I want a website in a good working condition. That's called minimum viable product. So what is expected in this? I want a login screen should be there. I need somebody to choose an item and make a billing. That is payment gateway. So if you come to Amazon.com, it should be able to help you to buy some t-shirts for yourself in this 8 weeks of time. So vendor should be onboarded, t-shirt should be shown in the screen, and somebody can choose a t-shirt with the sizes what they want, and then go for the payment gateway with some discount code and go for it. So this, you should make it in 4 iterations. 4 iterations could be 8 weeks of time. 8 weeks can be 2 months of time. So your time is finalized here. Okay. If in this 2 months of time, how many people need to work? Maybe 10 to 15 people are going to work. They'll set the cost also. Let's say it could be, let's say $2,000. I'm just giving a number. $2,000 can be the time. And here it's going to be 2 months of time. So now, first thing they'll decide within what time we want to reach it. We want to reach in 2 months, 3 months, or 2 weeks. You want to say time is finalized. In this time, I want something usable. And for this, I can spare this much of cost. So cost and time, they first finalize it. And then they'll say that within this time, within this money, what do you want? They'll ask the question. Why they do this is, when you put this kind of constraint that time and money finalized, people are so clear that they can set the priority properly. Priority properly. So now you know, which is very important because you have only 2 months time. In this 2 months time, I want to elaborate all the work in the world. I will give exactly what I want. I will tell I want only the login screen. I want a screen which shows all the t-shirts. And I want a place to make the payment gateway. 3 items. That's it. I don't want anything else. What about adding grocery items? Not now. What about electronics? Not now. What about bonus points, schemes? Not. What about coupon codes? Not now. When you want that? Maybe next cycle. The first cycle, I want this. So now what happened is iterative, incremental, they want to go. They have an option to choose, which is very important, rather going by all at a time. So there's a priority setting started happening really well when you put a constraint of time and money. When this was proposed earlier, a lot of discussion. People don't like it. They said, man, this won't work. This won't work because we used for a long time. Give the requirement properly. Let's say at least give me 80% of requirement clearly. 90% of requirement clearly, then we'll start the work. When we start the work, we will expand the time. We will say 2 months, but we will go 4 months. We'll give $10,000, but later we'll go $20,000. We'll keep asking because we don't know. Work is getting expanded, time and money getting expanded. Even now, we follow this in many projects. Nothing wrong in it because it depends on the situation, market change, EEF, OPA, all are going to happen. But there is also a project which has a possibility where time and money can be realized and then go for the requirement. Both are possible. But now world is more liking on the right side. The reason is when you have a time and money finalized, your priority is clear. Like your 2021 plan. In 2021, you have a time limit. I want to do 2 certification, 1 certification. And the cost also is clear. This is what I can pay. Even now in these classes, I know some of you not going to write ACP exam till January or February, because you may not have the budget for the year 2021. You will have the budget for 2022. I have to pay around 30,000 rupees for the exam or 25,000 rupees for the exam. I don't have the money right now. The cost is not with me. So you will have a time of next 6 months. This is the time. This is the money. Within this, what I can do? I can go for ACP certification. This is the time. This is the money I have. I'll go for this. So in life, if you know there's a time limit I have, there's a cost I have, you choose the best item. Rather, you keep it other way. I'll choose it. When time comes, I'll do. Time will not come. So this also hits back on Parkinson's law. Have you heard about Parkinson's law? Right? Work expands to the time what you have. Work expands. So if you have more time, work goes. If I give you 8 hours and ask you to read a 1 page, you will read the whole page all 8 hours. If I give you 20 minutes, can you read this? You will still read it. So work expands to the time what we have. Parkinson's law. Our work shrinks as a time what you have. So Agile way, they're trying to do it in a better way, in the sense, use a limited time, set a higher priority so that you don't waste your time. That's a concept. Oh, we got it. Inverted triangle. Right, let's see some more here. So Agile triangle of constraints is what we say as time and material, type, project, and software. Oop, I don't get your question. So Agile triangle of constraints is what we say as type, project, and software. Oof. Can you please speak up? Let me understand your question. Okay, Santosh says MVP seems to be a scope of expectation for team before cost and time. Any difference between MVP scope and MVP in Agile? Okay, scope is a whole requirement. Okay, MVP is also a scope, minimum viable product. And when I say scope, the whole, let's say there is a metro construction work happening. The whole metro construction is a scope. In this, there'll be some MVP. MVP is minimum viable product, a usable some form. A usable could be of maybe a new requirement design document comes out. From this design document, the metro construction work team can convert into a doable work. So MVP is minimum viable product. The term itself explains something viable, usable, consumable one, right? Scope is a superset. In this, MVP is a subset. Hope that helps you. All right, Havdut, can you speak up? I don't get your question.
So Sriram, Avdut here. So the question was that typically in our in my organization, or maybe in software, the type of projects that we do are fixed price, time and material. Okay, so in fixed price, you have got a very defined SOW and scope, and of course the cost, and then you just have to complete that in that particular time, right? That's fixed price project. And by time and material, what I just thought looking to this particular diagram is that yes, that also has a SOW, that also has a predefined time limit, because in that time limit you can have that much of budget, there is a rate actually, and so much of efforts, but scope can vary based on the priority of the client. So it's just they drive the project, they say you do this kind of thing. So I thought maybe that is what it reflects in this particular inverted triangle model.
Okay, first I'll clarify, we are not talking contract here. Okay, we are talking about Agile mindset at the high level. You went a little down talking contracting. There is no difference between fixed price and time and material. All are the same system. Let's not go there. Okay. It's talking about totally in Agile mindset. In Agile mindset, we don't try to define all the work in advance. Rather, we do in a progressive way. That's what I'm trying to explain here.
Okay, got it.
Are you getting that? Okay. So I believe that is what we're doing in project. And again, for your information, in Agile projects, we'll set a fixed budget, but again, it has some constraints below that. When you say fixed budget, before fixing the fixed budget, they'll have a scope, high-level scope defined, isn't it?
Yes.
You have a high-level scope, it's defined. Yes. And we have some detail about what all work will be done. We estimate it called T-shirt sizing. We do all this stuff. We don't do bluntly start the work. We will have some information. Okay, I'm not going to the contracting. Contracting we'll talk later. For now, understand in Agile, the inverted triangle, what they propose here is, I think the words are very clear in front of us. Requirements are not considered as a fixed one. Requirements can be variable because we welcome change. Have you all understood that basically? If you understood that basically, then we'll start about So when you say variable of a requirement, how variable you can be variable within the money what you have, within the time what you have. Is it clear?
Yes,
in the sense of variable, you cannot tell that, okay, yesterday blue color, today green color. That will not work. You should be mindful that within this time, within this money, how much I can change. That is what they're talking here. If you understand this basic philosophy, you are good with Agile. Okay. Right. Let's go a little down. Okay, Santosh, I hope you got it. So Vishnu says scope will be fixed and sprint, right? How can scope be variable? Okay. I know that's what you all going to the micro level. Wait there. Vishnu is asking sprint level. I'm talking for you Agile at the portfolio, program, project manager level. Don't look like a developer level. Okay. So when you listen the classes, listen at times, listen at a managerial leadership level. How do you talk as a the point they're trying to explain here. Right. Nagendra says, what if the budget exceeds? Will there be any negotiator clause? Okay. Again, I'm seeing same concepts happening here. So let's go to the point of Nagendra. What if the budget exceeds? Okay. Here, when you say fixed budget, when you come to the fixed budget, the sponsor is pretty aware that at this point of time, what is the timeline? What is the money they can spend for it? Definitely, if they want more items, they're going to expand it. They want more, they're going to ask more. But point here is, are you clear with what you want within the money, what you have? For example, I gave this MVP. MVP is minimum viable product. I'll explain more as I go forward. A project will have few sets of MVP happening. You will create one MVP, from that will move to next MVP, right? So now if you say a WhatsApp, I would have given an example, WhatsApp 3 years back does not have whatever you have today. So by the time that was an MVP for them. In the 1 year, I have to reach these many things. For this is a budget. After again, they'll allocate some more budget, some more time. Today, what you have now. Now they will have some other budget for next MVP to obtain and another 1 year of time with a new timeline, new budget. So it will keep going on. But point is, what you're going to release within this time, which is a usable form. That is what they'll keep moving. Okay. So again, I'll tell you, think little higher. Don't think so much into down level. We will talk there when you go to implementation level. Now you have to think like an agile leader, proposing a model, how we can achieve things within the specified time, specified cost. That's what we are thinking here. Hope it helps you. Right. Let's go a little more. One more question, Santosh. MEP planned 8 weeks and costing 2K cost. If MEP is completed 80% on last day of 8th week, that's not called MEP, Santosh. MEP in Agile, we say only when it completed, it's got usable. Santosh, which domain you from, so that I can explain you better? You are from non-Agile domain, you are from IT domain, anything, something like that? Just the chapter, and we do more planning than non-Agile. The book says that in Agile only we do a lot of planning than non-Agile project. But the planning will not be so lengthy. We'll do a short-term plan. Okay. Okay, Santosh, I assume you are from non-Agile, IT, non-IT background, but just want to give, I am from IT engineering team. Oh man. So I have to, okay, fine. I have to tell you that in Agile and Scrum, if there is something called definition of done, there is something called which is completed. Only when it is completed, it is called over. So an MVP means it's a usable form as per we thought. If you don't achieve it, then it is not MVP. If Amazon or want to launch a product, the MVP says you should have a login, you should have some screens to load and upload the t-shirts model, and your payment gateway should work. Now you're telling Shriram, I have a login screen, I have t-shirts available, payment is not working. Will you say it's complete or incomplete? It's incomplete, right? It's incomplete. So MVP means minimum viable product should meet all this criteria. If it is not working, then there is no point of talking about it. It's disqualified. Now you have to extend the time, redo the work, something going to happen. We'll talk more when you go deep inside. So this is a basic understanding for you in Agile. We have requirements keep changing. For that, we do not do haphazard change. we'll have a time, we'll have a money. With this timeline, when you do that, things works well. This is a proposal from DSDM. It is highly appreciated. One side highly criticized because this is going to put high pressure. But now people feel that because you gave a constraint of time and money, people set the priority properly, which is important, which is unimportant. If not, people tend to give more work without understanding which is important, which is unimportant. Right? There it starts. We all got it. Let's move a little more. You learn more about this as you travel. Okay, there is one video I'm going to talk about manifesto. In Agile, I would have said a few number of manifesto are there. How many manifesto are there? Anyone remember it? In 2001, they written down the number of manifestos. There are 4 manifestos on 12 principles. Okay, 4 manifestos and 12 principles. This is what written in year 2001. And this guy is going to explain in a short video. And you'll be surprised, man, this I do, man. I do day-to-day life. I'm from non-Agile, but I still do this. That's what you're getting a feel. Let's observe this video. Let me put this. Yep.
Hello and welcome. In this video,
Just a minute. I'll remove the patches.
we will be discussing the 4 values written in the Agile Manifesto by going one by one. Individuals and interactions over process and tools. Traditionally, project team led by the project manager was paying much attention to the process. The majority of them followed the Waterfall project management technique based on the article published in 1970 by Winston Royce. The Waterfall method itself was a 5-step process as described by him. In 1985, the United States Department of Defense captured this approach in their standards for working with software development contractors, which stated that the contractor should implement a software development cycle that includes the following 6 phases: software requirement analysis, preliminary design, detailed design, coding and unit testing, integration, and testing. Following stringent processes used to make the development process rigid, there wasn't much scope to adopt changes during the project's execution. Additionally, a well-defined process is not the answer to every problem, but being adaptive to change is. No matter how detailed and well-defined a process is, there will always come some barriers that couldn't have been anticipated by any process or tool such overcome. When individuals sit together, discussing possible solutions to a problem that result in a unique approach to solving a complex problem. Innovation doesn't come from rigid processes, but it does come from experimenting with various techniques. The Agile Manifesto together effectively. Processes and tools are not harmful, but don't use them until they make things easy and effective. Working software over comprehensive documentation. A lot of documentation used to be done before, even before starting to build the software. The features, specifications, layout requirements, test cases, design were documented long before their arrival time. This approach had some drawbacks. With it, you may create many features, which the end user may never use. The time spent on the documentation of such features also goes in vain, too much documentation. It also delays the project, which later becomes an opportunity cost for the business. Because of all these drawbacks, the Agile Manifesto favors working software over comprehensive documents. Instead of wasting a lot of time creating lengthy documents, and then taking feedback based on those documents, we should take the feedback based on working software. Customer collaboration over contract negotiation. In the traditional software development method, one more time, if there were any changes to be made in the contract. And finally, at the end of the project, the development process was more focused on what is written in the contract instead of being focused on what the customer wants. This approach neglected the value of customer feedback during the project. When software is developed without the customer's constant feedback, the result is often a product that does not completely satisfy the customer's needs. That is why the Agile Manifesto favors customer collaboration over contract negotiation. Agile emphasizes take on constant feedback from the customer throughout the development process. So whatever is being developed is also being seen by the customer. Whenever the customer feels that the project is going in the wrong direction, they can steer the project by providing inputs to the developers. Responding to change over following plan. We're not in favor of the change was very much a usual statement in the traditional project management approach. The waterfall approach was to create detailed plans in the beginning, and then following them through the project. Being rigid leads to creating an improper product, but it also makes us miss the chances of bringing changes that could cause our product better. That is why the Agile Manifesto favors responding to change over following plans. When software is developed with agility,
Hi, Shriram. If you're talking, I can't hear you.
I'm also not hearing Shriram.
Yes, I cannot hear you.
Okay, hope I'm audible now. I was trying to reset my internet. Is it good now?
Yeah. Right.
Okay, thanks for confirming. I don't know why in the morning I'm having both my internet connections bugging me. Okay, thanks for batting out. I know it's a little bad. Right now it's better now. You got me clearly. I'm
Yes.
seeing it. What happened is due to heavy rain, something happened in my area. My Airtel and other internet connection has up, down, up, down, up, down yesterday. Look like they're fixing in the morning. So maybe switch off, switch on, something's happening. Okay, thanks for holding on. So what I do is I'll share the content and play it. I think we were discussing about 4 manifesto. Was it covered? Did it cover the whole full manifesto? Was it a bit clear there, or it stopped middle of it? Stopped in the middle, stuck in the middle. Okay, fine. For the benefit of all, let me do the playing again. I mean, one more time, I'm checking my internet. Everything is good. So far, it shows good connection. Strength is good. Let's believe that because sometimes they reset the connection. Could be the reason I have dropped for a few minutes. Let's come back. So what I do is I'll play the video again so that we listen the manifesto one more time. I know a couple of them it explained. Third or fourth it gone. So quickly I'll play that. Okay, just confirm my audio, video, and screen share is good. Okay, you got all. Very good. Thanks for confirming. Right, let's get in. I'm going to play the video again. Let's listen to the manifesto. Right.
Hello and welcome. In this video, we will be discussing the 4 values written in the Agile Manifesto by going one by one. Individuals and interactions over process and tools. Traditionally, project team led by the project manager was paying much attention to the process. The majority of them followed the Waterfall project management technique based on the article published in 1970 by Winston Royce. The Waterfall method itself was a 5-step process as described by him. In 1985, the United States Department of Defense captured this approach in their standards for working with software development contractors, which stated that the contractor should implement a software development cycle that includes the following 6 phases: software requirement analysis, preliminary design, detailed design, coding and unit testing, integration, and testing. Following stringent processes used to make the development process rigid, there wasn't much scope to adopt changes during the project's execution. Additionally, a well-defined process is not the answer to every problem, but being adaptive to change is. No matter how detailed and well-defined a process is, there will always come some barriers that couldn't have been anticipated by any process or tool such overcome. When individuals sit together, discussing possible solutions to a problem that result in a unique approach to solving a complex problem. Innovation doesn't come from rigid processes, but it does come from experimenting with various techniques. The Agile Manifesto says that we should focus more on having competent people working together effectively. Processes and tools are not harmful, but don't use them until they make things easy and effective. Working software over comprehensive documentation. A lot of documentation used to be done before, even before starting to build the software. The features, specifications, layout requirements, test cases, design were documented long before their arrival time. This approach had some drawbacks. Like what you have documented will be outdated by the time you are done with it. You may create many features, which the end user may never use. The time spent on the documentation of such features also goes in vain, too much documentation. It also delays the project, which later becomes an opportunity cost for the business. Because of all these drawbacks, the Agile Manifesto favors working software over comprehensive documents. Instead of wasting a lot of time creating lengthy documents and then taking feedback based on those documents, we should take the feedback based on working software. Customer collaboration over contract negotiation. In the traditional software development method, the customer was involved only at the beginning of the project for contract negotiation. One more time, if there were any changes to be made in the contract. And finally, at the end of the project, the development process was more focused on what is written in the contract instead of being focused on what the customer wants. This approach neglected the value of customer feedback during the project. When software is developed without the customer's constant feedback, the result is often a product that does not completely satisfy the customer's needs. That is why the Agile Manifesto favors customer collaboration over contract negotiation. Agile emphasizes take on constant feedback from the customer throughout the development process. So whatever is being developed is also being seen by the customer. Whenever the customer feels that the project is going in the wrong direction, they can steer the project by providing inputs to the developers. Responding to change over following plan. We're not in favor of the change was very much a usual statement in the traditional project management approach. The waterfall approach was to create detailed plans in the beginning and then following them through the project. Being rigid leads to creating an improper product, but it also makes us miss the chances of bringing changes that could cause our product better. That is why the Agile Manifesto favors responding to change over following plans. When software is developed with agility, we start with a plan that gives us enough idea of the direction we want to move. Then as we proceed and seeing new events unfolding in front of us, we incorporate those realities into the ongoing work. So these were the 4 values of the Agile Manifesto. Follow them in your project management to ensure its success.
Okay. Hope this time it's clear. You're able to see fully. Got it? All right. Okay. Okay. Now, quick ask to you. Out of this 4, which one you feel you are more connected? Which one you feel this makes sense? Of course, all are a sensible one. But anything which you feel, hey, that makes point. Anything there out of 4? First one, they spoke about individuals and interactions over process and tools. Tools are important, but don't kill your time there. Right? Go give more importance to people. Cynthia, you were talking about a plan. Did you got something from the last one? You spoke about the plan. Do they do the plan? Now, are you getting an idea? They do the plan, but they keep looking for, right? Responding to change over following a plan. You have a plan, but again, you be very sensible for adjusting your plans. You will not be so rigid that I will go this way. I would have said in the first day of the class that Agile is all about mindset, or I would have said a common sense, rather fighting too much into rules and regulations. That is where the model they're going in. But somebody can ask the question, Shriram, if you don't follow the rules, how it will work? It's a mutual agreement for both the parties. It's going to work. That's how it is, right? Working software over comprehensive documentation. Rajarajan says that's the right one. And I have Kirti says third one is good. Working software over documentation. First one is good. Cynthia says yes. Okay, fine. So let me go a little more on this and we'll talk about it. Here it is. So if you see here, the video which it explained, let's go a little on this area. If you see the items on the left or items on the right, both are going to be more helpful. You cannot tell one is wrong, other is right. If you look at the right side, I will tell process and tools. It is there for so many years. Even today is there. Even now it is there. We have to follow some process. We have to follow some tools. For example, in ShriLearning, we keep it everything open and transparent. But still, we need a process in place. If you want to enroll into the system, you have to pay, you have to give your details, and you have to enroll, you have to come into the system. There is a process followed. We cannot tell no. But how flexible you are. More process is happening, but at the same time, we give importance to the people, isn't it? I want to talk to you individually. There are many people say that, Shriram, I want to talk to you before I join the classes. I know you have a process, but before that, let me talk to you. Let me talk to Rahul. And I want to understand what you guys are doing. Is it really valuable for me? So you give more importance to people. You should not tell, no, there is a process. First, send an email. We will approve the email. After the email, you have to go to you have to follow 10 steps, then only you'll enter into the system. No, they want to see, it's really making sense. So individuals' interactions is more important to the people. At the same time, process and tools are important. You cannot ignore it. You cannot ignore and tell that, no, process are not important. I will just ignore it. No, it is, but minimal level. Try to reduce it. Why this came is in the year 1990s and 2000, we were so much into the documentation. Anyone here who worked in these kind of companies where they ask for more documentation process. Because the second one I'm going to talk about is comprehensive documentation. Do documentation, but what needed, do that. Not too much into that. I do have some of my friends, when I'm talking years back, maybe a couple of decades back, they tell that, man, I cannot start the work. These guys will ask me to do the document for nearly 2-3 weeks. 2-3 weeks, I'll be only in documentation. After filling all the documents only, they'll allow me to even start a piece of work. They say, man, it's so tough for me. Sometimes we forget what we are doing here. So now the documentations are needed. At the same time, show me something workable. And today I was explaining to, I think, Santosh, right? I was explaining to MVP. Something usable form, show that. Something running form, show me. This is what they ask in software. At the same time, documentation is needed, limited. So be careful. What you see in the right side, they're not ignoring. They're not saying bad. Have it, but limited. Don't go too much. So some of them tell that documentation is not there in Agile. Totally in Agile, they don't follow documentation. That's a wrong assumption. Documentation is still there, but the format has been changed. It's a live document. It's a transparent document. It's a mirror document. We keep it open. We use certain tools these days. We call Google Docs, we call Jira, we call Rally, MS Project, Teams. Here, what is happening here is documents are being written and shared by both the party. Anyone can see what I'm writing. Anyone can see what we are doing, right? Early days, how it used to be is a manager or a senior manager or team member maintain a document. You cannot see that until they complete and share with you, or they kept it as a secret agenda. Nowadays, those not there in the picture. Anyone can see the architecture of the project. Anyone can see the status of the project. It's all kept open. And in Agile, if you feel documentation is not needed, I'll give an example for you. Let's take example of any e-commerce or a shopping website or a shopping cart. I believe you all doing some online purchase recently, maybe over a Flipkart or Amazon if you're in India. Even in abroad, you use Amazon. Now, tell me that why you like Amazon. What makes you to like, let's take example of Amazon itself. Why you like Amazon shopping application? Why you like that? What makes you to go back to the Amazon second or third time or fourth time or Flipkart? Is it a cost? They give lesser cost, better discount. Neetu says ease and simple. Very good. Service, easy, accessible. Okay. Anything more? Speed of delivery. Very good. Change, can change, right? That's a valuable point, right? You can change anytime. You can return anytime. That makes sensible. Flexible options are there. Okay. Graphic user interface is good. Really? You like Amazon interface? I have heard a lot of people don't like Amazon interface. So much of lot of content on the screen. Okay. Right. Easy refund. Very good. Very good. Shall I tell you one reason which you all pulled you there? You all have a trust over Amazon app, Amazon application. That makes you to go back again. Is it true? I'll tell you what made you to come to trust. The trust is, even if I make a wrong order, I can go back to my historical history data and reverse that order. Tell that I don't want this order. Or I can look back my record 2 years back, what I ordered, I can reorder. I can see last month what I ordered, what is the cost of it, who delivered it. Now I'm talking about something on the data. Amazon, if you go history or your orders, that orders is nothing but documentation. They've done a documentation where the order, where it started, when it landed, and who delivered it, who returned it back, why you canceled, everything is given there. Now, when you look at that, you feel more confident at any chance or any point of time. I can recall the data. Any point of time, I have the information. So no one can cheat me. That confidence level they gave you with the documentation. Because of the documentation, we call transparency. Because of transparency, you got a trust. Because of the trust, you again and again go to Amazon. Am I right on that? If this documentation is not there, I'm sure you will not go back. You will feel, oh man, these guys are cheating me. Something hidden there. They didn't hide anything. They showed everything. Now, if anyone want to tell that in Agile, we don't have documentation, that is called documentation. So we do a comprehensive. We need a documentation. We'll do. The documentation format has been changed. It's all live living documents where you have to update live present information. It is a transparent. Anyone can see the documentation. So that is a form of documentation now we are living with in the world. So documentation is important. Documentation is important for the customer. Documentation is important for a support team. They should know how a system works. Only when you fill in the data, somebody can see that, say it works. So if anyone says in Agile no documentation, say them no. It has its needed documentation. That is where we are going towards. Why I have to explain this point very elaborately is there are people thinking that Agile means very lazy job, nothing to be done, no planning, no documentation, just go come out. Actually not. We do actually very planned, proper work in Agile. We'll have a very clear, detailed, prescribed what we want. Unwanted things we won't do, right? That's a point. Right, so there's a question from Cynthia. In this case, what the project manager role in Agile team? We have to go there. We have to go there. We'll talk about it. People are very interested to know. There is something called a servant leader. There is a role. I'll explain it. Okay, let's go some more time. Okay, let's talk some more factors below. If you're going for this next one, contract negotiation, as the video was explaining about, customer is more important than fighting for the contract. Contract signature happen. This is what you signed for. You cannot change it. We adopt changes. Contracts are made to make changes. Why they written this is in the year 1990 and 2000, people are so rigid with the contract. Because of the contract, many companies lost a lot of money because people don't accept the changes. People don't encourage contract upgradation. They say that you said we have to deliver it, or you say this is what we'll give you. This was the biggest problem those days, and that's the time they returned out. Yeah, contracts are important. I'm not saying no. At the same time, look out for the customer. Maintain the long-term relationship with the customer. That's where they came with the third manifesto. And fourth one is responding to change over following a plan. Every system needs a plan, but at the same time, see if you can adopt to some changes. We thought we'll do this. Later, we think you can adopt it. See, if I go with my friends for a movie, when I go for the movie, people say, let's go movie and go back home. And friends will tell, no, man, let's go for a dinner and then go back home. So you will not tell, no, it's very rigid. This is what I have to be. My mom will scold me, I'll go back home. This won't work, right? When you go with the friends, yeah, you will say, yeah, plan is important, but still sometimes you have to respond to change, which is going to happen, sensible changes. So rigid things at times doesn't work. You have to accommodate it. How do you accommodate? That's what you're going to learn. Now, when they written down this, they didn't keep all the industry in the mind. They took software industry and written down. And later point, when you read this, it feels like it's applicable in most of the industry. If not fully, or some portions applicable. You start feeling, oh yeah, it's possible. Certain things are possible. So they're thinking that instead of talking working software, they're using the word working product. Working product more than comprehensive document. They're trying to use different words, but still this is the base. First they written in 2001 February. Now you have to understand, based on what they written this, they took 12 principles in mind, they written it. I'll go to the principles. Before that, quick check on you. Can you help me with this match of following? Can you help me with the match of following here? Working software over watch. Working software over
comprehensive documentation.
Comprehensive documentation. Hey, I'm hearing slides are blur. Is it so?
No, okay at my end.
Yeah, not for me.
Okay, it's good. Okay. Maybe like what I had internet problem, maybe you are having. Okay, responding to change over
Following a plan.
following the plan. Very good. Individuals interactions over process and tools. Customer collaboration over contract negotiation. Okay. Great. Good job. You did a good job. Let's keep moving. Yeah, this is what we got. Let's move a little more. Okay, I want to talk about the principles on top of which the manifesto was written down. Now, look at this screen. You have 12 principles here. Okay. This is given in a short form. Actual terminology is a very lengthy one. I'll come to that. But for now, see this at 12. Now, in this, tell me or talk to me about at least one or two, which is very much customer focused. You have anything here, customer focused? You can tell the number. Very much customer focused.
Number 3.
1.
Satisfy the customer. Okay. Very good. And I'm seeing Bala says fourth one. Bala, fourth one, what it says? Work together. Okay. You mean it works with the customer, right? Product owner is a customer. Very good. Do anyone see second is also customer focused? Welcome change. Do you think so? We are entertaining them to give more changes. Do you give that? Like the same what Amazon does, you can change the product anytime. Even last minute, it'll cancel the order. We do that. Very good. Right. I'm seeing something about 5. Working software is a primary measure, right? Or fifth one says a trust and support. Trust and support is mostly on your team. Okay. Fifth one is a trust and support with your team. Fifth principle, what they say here is you trust them. You give them the environment, what they have to do. Fifth principle is very simple. It says that build projects around motivated individuals and trust them, give them the environment and make the work happen. Always in corporate, there'll be few people questionable. If you ask anything, they'll ask, will this project work? If you start talking about Agile, will the Agile work? They're saying, don't entertain those people, just ignore them, right? Go for the people who are really motivated to work. Somebody has to trust it. Somebody has to work it. You have to go trust the people, have them in the program and keep moving forward. Those are the people motivated, will do something. If not, these guys will keep on asking questions lifelong. Nothing they will do, right? So 9th principle, continuous attention to technical excellence. I'll go there now. Now, what you saw here is something about customer. Now, see something about the team. One is customer, other one is a team, your own team where you work. Tell me something which is here, which talks about your team members or group of people who you're going to work together. Is there anything attention for them? Self-organizing teams, principle number 11. Okay. All right. Fifth one is trust is for the team. Very good. 12th one, do anyone feel that? Reflect and adjust your behavior. That's going to be the one of that for the team. Do you feel that? So if you see here, of course, everything towards customer only, but still I'm telling this could be the customer. This could be customer. This could be as a customer, right? And deliver frequently could be of a customer. You're working with the customer. Yeah, possible. And what else? This could be working software giving to them as a customer. And here also you have a customer maintaining sustainable pace. And also I'm seeing for team factors. Team factors could be of helping the team, supporting them, giving proper communication with the team members, self-organizing teams, and you talk about how to reflect and change things. It could be teams, yeah. And something about the work, the requirements. You see anything here? Requirements of technology, anything you see here? Talking something on the requirements, technology, be very specific, clear. If you see here, principle number 12 talks about the requirement of the project. Keep it very simple. Don't complicate the work. They talk about here. Something on technology. They talk about technology. Continuously work on technical factors for your project, which can make your work very simple. All right. If you see here, face-to-face conversation or customer focus or team focus, do you think this is applicable only for software industry or can be done in some other industry also? Focusing the customers, focusing on the team, focusing on the technical factors. Technical could be any technical. In infrastructure, it has its own technical. In pharma-oriented technical. So technical and technology is something applicable to all the industry. So I feel this is all going to be applicable in other industry also. Now let's see some terminology here, which will explain a little more clear. Okay, this is actual principles which you are going to write as a writing habit going forward. For here, if you watch out, there are a few things I said about customer. Our highest priority is to satisfy the customer. The first principle is satisfy the customer. But how are you going to satisfy them? Through early and continuous delivery. Early and continuous delivery of valuable software. So the first thing they're written telling that highest priority is to satisfy the customer. How you satisfy? Through early continuous delivery. Give it quicker, also valuable. This is the reason you have to have iterative approach plus incremental approach. If you have iterative and incremental, you can do early and continuous with valuable software, right? That's a focus I started. We can see one more thing for the customer focus. I say this is for customer focus, right? There is something on the customer focus here. Welcome changing requirements. Customers can come and tell, hey, can you do this? Can you change this? Even late in the work, you're almost middle of the work, still they come, accept the change. They say agile process harness change. Why they have to accept the change? Because your customer has to meet the competitive market. See, market is changing. You cannot tell that you ordered something 6 months back, that is what you have to get it back. No, they're coming and telling, hey, I ordered something, but the market trend is changing. Can you do this? And this is where the information technology industry keep being so flexible. They keep changing, keep moving forward, right? So you can see something, deliver working software frequently. Again, we saw about here continuous delivery, right? Working software. Do you see the working software? Working. It should be workable. That's why I say MVP, minimum viable product. Something should be workable, usable. If it's been halfway completed, 99% completed, no, 100% completed. Working, it should work. If you go in, you should sign in work, things should work, should be consumable, usable form. Do it with a short term, maybe a couple of weeks, couple of months, which is preferable for you, right? So now, these are some of the principles I would recommend you to write down for a few days. You'll get hold of it. We will talk 1 or 2 principles on every class, explain it. But I'll tell some principle today. I'm going to explain something more deeper on some other principle. I'll pick up the principle number 6. Principle number 6 says that the most efficient and effective method of conveying information to and within a team, development team, is face-to-face conversation. This was written in the year 2001. When they were writing this, there were a lot of silos in the team. People work each department separately. They don't talk to each other. They just believe on emails, sometimes on phone calls, and a lot of gap in the conversation. Because of that, deliverables are going very late. When we were writing this, they felt that, of course, these tools and techniques will help, but more than that, let the team sit together. They can talk freely. They have to see each other, understand the emotions, and then they work. And this is a birthplace in 2001. They written down, it should have a face-to-face conversation. And now we call it as an agile environment where we have people sit together in a group and they work together. That's showing more results. That's where it started. But now what happened with the COVID thing? We are all going with the video calls, but video calls also expected to be face-to-face. Unfortunately, many video calls, one person will be in the cam, other person will not come on the cam. Have you observed it? But you feel there is a lagness, there is a gap there. I too joined some of the onshore, that is a different country-based calls. When I go there, if someone is in video, everyone will be in the video. If everyone decide not to go in the video, not will be in the video. This is how they work. Unfortunately, in our culture, it's slightly different. It's so hard for people to come on the camera. I still don't understand what blocks them. The 2 people in the top level, management level, they do that. But it's very, very bad system. You have to come out of that if you have that trouble. If you're not ready for the meeting, tell them I'm not ready for the meeting. But if you're ready for the meeting, be available face-to-face. Very, very, very important. I keep telling them in a lot of leadership forum, please be available. Don't tell that I'm at home, I'm here, I'm talking in the mute mode. These are common dialogue I'm keep hearing. You can do once or twice. Lifelong, you cannot tell I'm talking in the mute mode, right? It won't work. So face-to-face conversation is very important in Agile. They're discussing it for a long time for the team benefit. Okay, one principle I will put it. Can you read this principle and interpret what you feel? Principle number 10. Can you read and tell what you feel, what you think of it? Simplicity. Art of maximizing amount of work not done is essential. What is that? Any thoughts on that? Yep. Any thoughts on that principle? It's a normal English word. Tell me what you think about it. It's not written in some other language. You can tell me what is written there. Let's see your assumptions. Let's see your interpretation. What do you think? Understand what is needed and don't go beyond that. Very good. Honesty and transparency. Very good. Do only what is required most. Very good. Okay. That's good. I think you're close to that. Well said. I think most of you connected there. Do what is needed. Okay. So now let's go to the point. Simplicity. The art of maximizing amount of work not done. Many people are scared of this terminology. Shriram, what do you mean by not done? You mean we have to say no? We will not do the work? And people interpret in a different way when they read this. But actually what happened here is, I'll give some detail about it. Many products, what we use, we are assumed that we are not using all the features in that. For example, take this example, which I give usually about the mobile. Some of you in this room would have bought a mobile in the last 5 months, 6 months, or a year of time. Now, what happened here is, when somebody want to buy the mobile, we do search a lot about the mobile phone in the market. We do a lot of browsing. There are a lot of websites nowadays compare the mobiles. Mobile A, B, C, D, you compare it. And when you compare, you know what you compare. You won't compare the basic features. Basic features could be of a phone call, could be of messaging, could be of basic camera stuff. It's there. We don't compare this. We'll compare with all advanced features. So a person who want to buy a mobile will look into the internet and see number of models. And they will tell, I want this incoming, outgoing, refrigerator, AC, air condition, everything should work in my mobile, but 5,000 rupees I'll pay. There are a lot of standard queries in Google. Within 10,000, what is the best mobile? Within 5,000, what is the mobile? People have a standard query there in Google. Once you start typing the first letter, it will give the rest of the text. So people do all this research for 2 months, 3 months. On one fine day, they decide to buy the phone. They buy the phone. And after buying the phone which they want 124 features in the mobile, they bought it. Now, what happened here is, first day they'll explore everything. You'll do this, that, current in the wire. They'll try to do the even ISRO rocket launch from their mobile. They'll try all the option, because this guy spent 1.5 lakhs to buy a mobile. Now, of late we have mobile, right? 1.5 lakhs, 1.3 lakhs mobile. You have to sell your kidney and buy a phone. Those kinds are happening. They'll do all this stuff. After 1 month or 2 months, if you go and ask them, hey, what are you doing with the phone? And this guy will tell, I use this phone because I get 2 missed call, 1 wrong number. And sometime I take a selfie, that picture looks pathetic, then I delete it myself. For this guy would have done research for 3 months and spend 1.5 lakhs to buy a phone. I'll be so surprised why they do that if you're not really going to use it. But it's not their mistake. Market is like that. Market is advertising to make you to buy. They make you to buy. Specifically, some of the top branded phones, cost is very high, and they make sure they tempt you to buy. Now, the study says that nearly 60% of the features what you bought in any product is not used. Some of them tell more than that, but 60 is a decent number. 60% is not used. I took a mobile. Let's take the car what you bought. You thought a high model car. I don't think you use everything. Laptop, you don't use everything. You buy a washing machine. It has a lot of features, but we do general wash there. Refrigerator. Nowadays, I see that people buy a refrigerator to multiple doors. You can open the door, go inside, take a lift and get inside. That's such a big refrigerator buy. Actually, you'll keep 1 milk packet inside that. For this 1 milk packet, I don't think you need such a big thing, huge current and all waste. So people put a lot of effort into the big things, but actually not used. So only 40% of the features what you bought, you are aware of. First thing you're aware of and using it. So what is happening here? The focus is more on this area. Now, what simplicity talks is the art of maximizing amount of work not done is essential. When a work comes to you, when a project comes to you, don't complicate too many thoughts, too many things. Focus on what is important and give value to that. Deliver it. If they ask more than that, then add next 10%, add next 10%, add next 20, 30%. Keep adding more, but focus on which is very important, that immediate attention grabbing. Don't go too many things. This directly comes from one of that methodology called XP. Extreme programming have said this. Extreme programming mentions about simplicity. Keep things very simple. Now, how many of you agree that in your devices or things what you have around you, you use this very less amount of features? Do you agree on that? Do you think simplicity can be done there? Right? We use many features, not highly. Right? Once I remember some 5, 6, 7 years back, I bought this 3D television, 3D TV. Okay. Very expensive, big screen. I thought 3D, I will use it. I'll watch 3D stuff. I'm so excited about 3D those days, and not now, those days. I spent huge money for that. I did research for nearly 6 months, I believe, to buy that. You know how many 3D movies I watched so far in that? Of course, no TV for last 5 years. when I bought it, how many movies I would have watched in that? 3D. Any thought? Any guess number? 3 to 4. Not even one movie. 0. When I bought, they gave me one sample video. That is, somebody will play tennis and some flowers will be flying. A sample video to see the 3D. That is the only sample video I have seen in that television, which is huge, expensive, big television. After that, I never used it. I bought a Blu-ray disc player by the time, very expensive. I'm talking all years back. How many Blu-ray I played? Only one. Then I felt that this is all market gimmick, make you to buy. And later you feel no use. I know you can try it out, but sometimes I felt that keep it simple is very important. So XP focus, keep it simple. You know, why I have to talk about this? Do I need to tell the work I will not do? No, that's not the intention. Customer satisfaction comes when you give the right product what they want rather beating the bush. Don't cheat them. Don't run behind the screen. Tell them clearly what this is important. I'm sure they'll come back. After you give the normal television, they'll ask you 3D. When they ask, give it. Don't push it on them. Go for what is needed, what is usable, minimum viable product, which is viable, which is usable, right? That's important. And this comes from the XP directly. I'll give you some of things going to be come from XP here. You can see this face-to-face communication. This comes from directly from XP. XP talks a lot about it, and it talks about team has to continuously improve. It can see it from XP. I'll give some more things in the XP, what all we grabbed here. So I gave a hint in the beginning of the class yesterday. Extreme programming is very important. From there only we derived a lot of concepts, but it's the essence of it. On top of that, we have a Scrum as a methodology. I will explain it. So for now, what I will expect from you is next few days, I would ask you to write down these principles in a paper, and let's have this habit of writing. I'm sure you'll have more questions as you write. I don't want to push everything right now today. You write it and come back. On a weekly wise, we'll discuss 2 principles to get a hold of it. Your exam's going to happen almost on this principles area. The subject, what you're going to learn is always on the principle side. So be very strong on principles so that will be clear. You have 4 values and 12 principles. And whatever methods you're going to learn now, it's all based out of these principles, right? I'll touch a little more, then we'll go for a break. Okay, there's a question. So what is a primary measure? So primary measure. So when somebody says a primary measure, there should be some secondary measure. What is secondary one? If it's primary, working software is a primary. What is the secondary one? What is the second one? Measure. Measure means how you measure. Something workable is measure. Definitely secondary can be some documentation, right? Bare minimal documentation is needed. So I want to put that point because you should not think Agile means no document. Document is there. Or minimal needed document we will have. So primary is workable something. Apart from that, we'll have some document needed. That's the stop. So we have primary and secondary. Right. Quickly touch this. Then you'll go for a break. So I just gave a clue about Agile. Now you got an idea. Agile is all about nothing but a mindset which covers by 4 manifesto 12 principles. There's a 4 manifesto 12 principles say something common sense. How you can help your customer to deliver early. Some focus on your team members, some focus on the customer, some focus on requirements and technology. So it's all about common sense of how can you help people to deliver which is usable, valuable to them. If you can do that, that's called Agile. It's a pure common sense. Now, under this Agile 4 and 12 principles, some methodologies are there. In this, we are going to start from Scrum post break. We're going to start Scrum and we'll see something on extreme programming today. So Scrum is one of the methodology which literally follows what it is inside this 4 and 12. We will see how they do that. Scrum got super hit. The reason is it's a very simple. It has a very systematic time boxing approach. We will see time boxing. When I explain the time boxing here, now I'll connect to that inverted triangle, cost, time, and requirement, how it comes as an inverted triangle. There I'll connect it, right? So now what you do is you're going to take a 15 minutes break and come back. So I'll give a little pause here. Any questions specifically to be addressed now? Do you have any specific question? I think one of the question I heard from Cynthia is, what is the role of the project manager here? Okay, I want to address it in another place, but again, since you asked the question, let me put it down here. Project manager, still we have a good role here. We have a good agile project manager. So what agile project manager will do? Agile project manager will empower the team to do the work. You will be very clear on the agile mindset, and most of the discussions and design will emerge from the team. So you have to be with the team, facilitate the team, allow them to think. You can add ingredients, but you cannot force them. You cannot direct them to do this, do that. Rather, you will be there and you will tell that, hey guys, this product, can we think like this? Why don't we think like this? You encourage them and you allow the team to do their job, because they're called knowledge workers. I'll go a little more later point. When you work on knowledge-based projects, you are an agile project manager. You may not go to the ground level to sit and force them to do something. Rather, you will empower them. You allow them to work on their own. So they start thinking on their own, start doing things. You have to facilitate, you have to be there. So definitely the role of agile project manager is lightweight than before. It reduced a lot, because I have to talk another role called product owner, who is a representative of the customer, who is also involving on the requirement of the project. So requirement is taken care by product owner, customer representative, work design discussion all taken by the team. So both went out. So you as a manager, you will be there, you will motivate them, you will drive them. Now you can ask me the question, Shriram, in Indian cricket team or IPL teams, what I see, there is a physical trainer coach, there is a psychiatric coach, there is a bowling coach. Then what is a overall coach is doing? What Ravi Shastri is doing there, or what Rahul Dravid going to do there? They'll be the facilitator. They will encourage them. They allow them to move forward. The final ask of certain things will go to them, telling them, how can I do this? Certain decisions, they keep it centralized. Most of the decision will keep it as a decentralized. When you say decentralized, each member can do the stuff. However it is, I'm going to explain a few of the roles as I move forward. For now, that's a quick answer for you. Hope that helps you, Cynthia. Okay, Santosh is putting a question. There is one manifesto having 4 values. One manifesto having 4 values and 12 principles. During discussion, you explained there are 4. Santosh, when I say manifesto, a manifesto has four manifesto, right? That's written down there. I think you went in a little jumble there. There is one manifesto having 4 values and 12 principles. During discussion, you explained there are 4 manifestos. By the way, what you saw, the 4 statements are called 4 manifesto. Hope you got that. I thought you had different documents. You thought 4 different documents are there. It's 4 statements. What you read, it's called Manifesto of Agile, or they call it as values. Both are interchangeably used. Hope it's clear. Okay, let's take a 15 minutes break. When you come back, let's start about Scrum methodology. And sorry for the internet hiccup. I'll again check one more time. Is it better now? I think they reset the internet. Is it good now? My flow is going well, no blockers. Fantastic, good. Usually what happens is morning when you start the session, first 1.5 hours, there'll be pin drop silence. When I give a break, people go have some breakfast, eat something and come back. Then they'll be more energetic. A lot of questions will happen. People come on the cam, they'll get very active. So let's see in 15 minutes what happens now. Okay, take a break and come back. Hey, hello, welcome back. Hope you all had a good refreshment. Feel good? Comfortable? So say yes, let's go.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, yeah, the break is needed, right? Give some energy. Drink something, have some food, and feel energetic. Okay, thanks all for being here. Let's move on. We'll talk something more. I want to talk something more about, as I heard about the roles also. We'll talk something about servant leader, product owner, what does Scrum Master do. We'll understand some roles also, then we'll get inside. Quickly, first you'll understand what is highly used in the market. We would have discussed it earlier, just to give a heads up. Scrum is being highly used in the market. So many questions in exam will focus more on Scrum, Kanban, XP, Lean. These are the areas the exam questions will target more, like FDD, feature-driven development, DSDM, test-driven development. Very rarely we see questions there. Even if it comes, it'll be a very basic question. Crystal, there is a methodology. These are very less questions. If not, mostly you'll be targeted on general agile concepts. And Scrum, some will be there, Kanban will be there, XP will be there. So there is a difference between general agile and Scrum. Scrum is one of the methodology under the agile umbrella. After you listen one day or now, you should be aware that agile is a big umbrella. Anyone follow that can be called as agile methodology. Scrum is one of that. So expect that in future, some more methodology can also emerge in the market. So let's talk a little bit about the roles. All right. I just gave a hint about before the break about the servant leader or project manager. Before understanding this, we have to learn some factors about market. There is a person called Peter Drucker, very famous person. He's no more, but he's an amazing guy. He written a book called The Landmark of Tomorrow. This book is a pretty famous book, published in 1959. In this book, he published a concept. He introduced a concept called knowledge workers. It was published in 1959, knowledge workers. Who are these knowledge workers? People like you and me, who can be programmers, designers, accountant, engineers, architects, lawyers, physicians, anyone who's use their brain and knowledge purpose for the work. It's called knowledge workers. So we are working in a knowledge-based projects. Majority of us going to be knowledge-based projects. Some of us will, portion of them will be knowledge-based. Some will be physical, manual work. Both will be involved, mix it up. At least I have worked most of my time in a knowledge-based projects. I don't get an opportunity to work on a physical or a manual work. It is happening on a personal side. But when I serve for a company, mostly it is on knowledge-based projects. Anyone want to say that you are part of knowledge-based projects? Anyone here? Yes, you do that. You're also part of knowledge-based projects. Also, do we have someone here who work on physical or could be of something on a construction, infrastructure-oriented projects? Anyone here? Right. I'm trying to see your chat message. Is anyone there? Well, Kumar says yes. When you say yes, what is it? Is it going to be knowledge-based or going to be physical work? What kind of work we're doing? Right. Okay. Look like only Will Kumar is working in the knowledge base. Rest all is working. Okay. Will Kumar says knowledge was physical, knowledge-based Sango. Okay, great. Okay, thanks for the couple of them who put message there. Point here is you have a people work in this model of project. Why I have to tell this is you have to understand the base of management. The base of management is we call it as a white collar job and blue collar job. So blue collar job is one where we people work more on a physical related activities, a lot of heavy lifting work. This is all done by heavy lifting work. It was very heavy in the 1940s, 50s, and 60s. And slowly the machine starts coming into the world. We use an animal for a long time. After animal, we started using machines. After machines, we start using electronics. After electronics, now we're using intelligence, artificial intelligence. Now we're bringing more devices, which covers mostly the job of the blue collar, right? But this job still exists the same because it's on knowledge-based projects. They have knowledge-based workers. So the white collar job still continues. In fact, it's going higher and this is getting lower. I'm not saying zero, it's coming down. Now, why this is explained to you is you should think slightly different than what you usually think as a manager. Because some of us come from the world of listening. Manager means top-down approach. Top-down approach means you ask people to do and they will do it. That's not the way it's going to work going forward. In the book, he talks about knowledge-based workers where people think on their own. They're capable of doing things. They are knowledgeable. You can't try. Maybe when you join the job 10, 15 years back or 10 years back, you just listen to what your senior management says. But try that with the recent generation who joining for a job. Let's take some of the kids at the age of 20, 21 coming to the job now. You cannot go and drive them. They don't even bother what you are saying. They don't worry about your role at all. You go and tell, I'm a senior manager, delivery manager. They say, what? So what? So what? That's it. They don't bother. For them, work should happen. That's it. They're done. They'll move away. They're not worried about your MD of the company, CEO of the company. They don't bother about. I'm talking about knowledge workers, knowledgeable people. Still, some industry out there, they have this hierarchy format, still worried about it. That's okay, nothing wrong in it. That's the format they follow. This is the format they follow. Now, when you read Agile books, you start moving towards Agile environment. Your mindset start moving towards, you are a knowledge worker. You are going to work with a knowledge worker, not a blue collar job. If you get that idea, chances are you respect everyone's decision. You start looking them as knowledgeable people who are capable of doing things. Only thing you have to tell them what to do or give some guidance. Rest all they will do. You don't need to do micromanagement. That's a point Peter Drucker started putting. And this is where this diversity and inclusion comes into picture. In every corporate offlet, you can see diversity and inclusion highly discussed. Sometimes I feel it's good. Sometimes it's overdoing. Actually not needed. Whoever has a capability, whoever has a knowledge to do things, there is no difference on diversity. They will win the game. That's it. Because somebody is a diverse, you cannot tell that you have to give an opportunity for them to shine. No, you cannot shine. You should have that knowledge to do. That's the reason Stephen Hawking is considered as one of the best scientists of the century. You know Stephen Hawking? Stephen Hawking is paralyzed. He cannot move. He can only tap in the device. He cannot talk. So he comes under diversity, isn't it? He's not a general person who can be part of. By the way, diversity means don't think always women, men, not that's diversity. Diversity could be anything. Could be of region, could be of a language, could be of people with the different abilities. These are all diverse. But unfortunately, in market, we talk more about women only because women is a majority group. That's we talk about it. But if you consider diversity, it includes all. At the same time, it's about knowledge. It's about all about knowledge. Somebody possesses the knowledge, they keep going, nothing worried. And Peter Drucker returned in 1959, and he assumed that in the year 2020, 2030, 40, it will be super peak. And the people who possess knowledge will survive. Rest all vanish. Or you have to be the normal worker in the ground level. Right? That's how it is. So why I have to put these points here in the beginning itself is you should be clear enough, not talking for top-down approach most of the time. Sometimes you have to come out of the top-down approach, allow the team to think on their own, right? So there is a dialogue here from Peter Drucker. Let's listen to this and come back. Okay, I'm going to play this video.
Peter Drucker taught me the fact that today we manage knowledge workers. Right. Knowledge worker knows more about what they're doing than the boss. The history of leadership was the boss was superior to the people being led. Bigger, stronger, smarter, talk to God, whatever, superior. Yeah. Well, that's yesterday, that's not tomorrow. Today, most of us manage people called knowledge workers. If I'm a CEO and I know more about marketing than the marketing person or finance than the finance person, I don't have a leadership problem, I have a selection problem with the wrong people. You want them to know more than you. Well, when people know more than you, you can't tell them what to do and how to do it. They already know. You have to ask, you have to listen, you have to learn. One of the great leaders that we both know is Alan Mulally. Alan, former CEO of Ford, fantastic leader. And Alan tells a story. He was in a meeting and he encourages people, red, yellow, green, on top 5 priorities. Green, I'm on plan. Red, I'm not on plan, don't know how to get there. And yellow, I got a strategy. Yeah. His first meeting, everything's green and they're losing $17 billion. Alan goes, well, it's not so good. Let's do this again. Finally, someone said red and Alan goes, well, you know, you don't know where you are and how to get there. And he said, I don't either. I know less than you. Right. Well, that's
what a moment.
Brilliant.
What a moment to, because this is with all the senior leaders of Ford. Yeah. And they're kind of testing him because it's early on in his days, right? Right. And if there's ever a moment you would think a CEO is going to go, let me show you how I can save the moment, because we are losing millions and billions of dollars. There's pressure on me from the board to turn this around. But instead of that, he does something different. What does he do? He
says, I know less than you. Why don't we actually find people and ask them for the answers? Well, they found out the answers were 3 or 4 levels below them in the company. So I love your philosophy of asking in this advice trap.
Yes.
JP Garnier was one of my coaching clients. JP was a CEO of GlaxoSmithKline. I asked JP, what'd you learn about leadership as a CEO? He said, I've learned a hard lesson. He said, my suggestions become orders. My suggestions become orders. And I said, if they're smart, they're orders. And if they're stupid, they're orders. If I want them to be orders, orders. If I don't, they're orders anyway. My suggestions are orders. So I said, what'd you learn from me? He said, before I speak, stop and breathe and ask one question. Is it worth it? Is it worth it? And this advice trap that you talk about, very profound. What we don't realize as leaders, our suggestions tend to become orders.
Right, they suck the oxygen of creativity out of the room. Everybody's like, that's a good suggestion, boss. Let me just write that down. I think I'm going to do this idea because you gave it to me.
In that Ford case study, if Alan would have said, have you thought of? What would have happened? Sir, yes, sir. Thought of it now, boss.
Exactly.
Yes, Mr. CEO.
I call have you thought of fake questions, because it's just advice with a question mark attached on the end. Nobody's thinking it's a question at all.
Everybody says, go do it.
Yeah.
And so I think what you're doing is brilliant. The advice trap, getting leaders to have that discipline to stop and breathe. And a great question, Alan, is, am I the world's expert on this topic? If I'm not, why am I talking?
Okay, just want to listen from you. Do you find any interesting take out of this discussion? Did you find any interesting statement they're talking about here? Okay, what is that interesting statement? I thought post break we'll get more energetic people coming out. I see a little silence there. Maybe you didn't have a break properly. You didn't eat well in the morning. You can pick up the mic and speak up. What do you observe here? What do you see in your job? Okay. Bottom up collaboration, suggestions and orders. Okay. Don't insist on what to do. Self-aware leaders who have the right approach with their talented team. Okay. I can see some points. Thanks for that. And did you observe that suggestions becoming orders? Did you observe that? And why I ask these questions here is, how many times you felt that some of the suggestions becoming orders in the corporate, or sometimes you have to follow, or sometimes your suggestions becomes an orders. When you go to higher and a higher level, your suggestion starts becoming an orders, right? And I think that's very interesting line. I really liked it. Suggestions becoming orders. And lastly, he said that when I'm not an expert, why I'm talking here? Since because your role says you're top guy, director, or CEO, doesn't mean you have to talk all the time. An SME can talk. And also they say that 2-3 levels below, they started seeing answers. I don't know how many of you observed that statement, 2-3 levels below. Now, why I have to show all this thing before I go further Agile here is, you should know Agile is more about understanding people, respecting their values, and believing what they have, rather thinking, I'm the boss, I know everything. And this conversation used to happen a lot those years. Now it's coming out. That's the reason I asked to show that. Anyway, thanks all for putting the chat message. Let's watch out. Let's understand something about the servant leader. Right? Ask, listen, and learn from anyone and everyone. Very good, Nito. And what Nito says is right. Catch up with the people, listen to them, what they say, what to try to say. At the same time, what is our contribution? That's also there. You cannot be all the time, oh, I'll be always listen. Oh, you have to be there, give some valuable suggestions. They want you to give some ideas, very valuable. Okay, suggestions should not turn into order. The reason is they turn into order when you don't give freedom for them. When they have enough freedom to do what they want to do, at the same time, you give suggestions, they like it. Sometimes they reject it. They put you down. Conference, you were telling something, Shriram, that's a pathetic idea, man. All right, sorry. Guys, go ahead. It will be fine. It will be so friendly way of talking and making it happen. Make that friendly nature. Shriram, if I do that, will I have a control on the team? The word control is gone. We are talking agile knowledge-based projects. Again, there are some projects where they need control, where they need commanding there. It's needed. I'm not saying no. But the projects, what we're talking here is a knowledge-based projects where you tend not to control people. People work on their own with interest. Okay, let's see something on the servant leadership. There's a short video. Let's get this stuff done.
Servant leadership is a tried and tested leadership approach that's about creating a shift from managing for results to designing environments that create results. Robert Greenleaf coined the phrase servant leadership in the 1970s. It's a form of leadership that replaces self-interest with service to others. Servant leadership is about influence rather than power and control, focusing on others' strengths rather than weaknesses, listening rather than giving orders, and long-range benefits rather than short-term profits. Servant leaders demonstrate a range of 9 key attributes. The good news is that all of these can be developed. Listening, self-awareness, foresight, empathy, persuasion, stewardship, healing, conceptualization, and building a sense of community. Servant leadership is about transformation and future focus. And adopting its leadership principles complements agile ways of working really well. The nature of work in the workplace has changed drastically. Our leaders need to change too. In order to continue to maximize delivery and customer value, our leaders need to demonstrate an ability to adapt. According to the Economist Intelligence Unit, the top 3 emergent leadership requirements are ability to motivate, ability to work well across cultures and geographical boundaries, and ability to facilitate change. An effective servant leader would demonstrate these by role modeling collaboration, accountability, and demonstrating innovation, emphasizing the importance of embracing and applying new knowledge at an individual and team level, and encouraging novel approaches and ideas. New demands are being made of leaders at all levels. The world's leading lean and agile thinkers together articulate 8 core competencies that they believe will differentiate leaders of the future. And these are innovation, strategic, excitement, tactical, communication, production, consensual, and delegation. So, in summary, servant leadership is an attractive, effective, and proven approach that should be the choice for those interested in transformation at an individual and organizational level.
Okay, it's a quite interesting video, which has given a lot of points about servant leadership. Tell me one point which you liked in the servant leadership, something they were explaining 6 or 7 items. Do you like something out of that? Anything interesting you liked it? What is that one you feel, oh, wow, that's good? Active listening. Santosh says active listening is very important in servant leadership. Managing results versus create an environment to produce results. Service to others. Transition, individual and organization. Transformation and collaboration. Motivation, facilitating, change, very good. Persuasion, very good. A lot of points. Sense of community, right? Focusing on strengthening than weakness. I think it's a very interesting point. I found a lot of people are making points there. So servant leadership is about guiding the people around you and moving them towards the right direction, right? At the same time, not losing the focus of what to achieve. So you will be there. At the same time, you make sure that you don't enforce something on your mind there. Rather, you work on a common goal. You make people to move towards a direction where they want to go. So some of the skills project managers will possess will be of the skills written on the left side. I'm sure these are the words you should have seen. You should have been using it already. If not, you have to. Conflict management, cultural awareness, decision-making, facilitation, leadership, meeting management, negotiations, networking, observation skills, servant leadership, team building. These all skills. Can I learn from MBA? Can I learn from PMP? Can I learn from Agile certification? Do you think these all skills are just because of certificate you get, or a mindset, a behavior? What is yours? Do you think these all are a degree, a certificate, or a mindset and behavior? I will tell you, it's about mindset and behavior. Now, then why this degree and certificate exist? These all exist to show you how to do it effectively, but they cannot inject it on your mind. You have to get it. That's why there are many people in this world who never went to degree, who never went to university and college, but they are so good. Have you observed? Every country, every city has some leaders who emerged without any qualification because they have this inbuilt. How they inbuilt could be the way they've grown up, could be they learned something in the life. But now why we have to learn this? At times we may not give an interest on this area, focus on this area. Now we have to give focus. If you don't give focus, you become a normal human being. You be a normal person. Now what a servant leader does, in this we'll pick up one thing called servant leader. We're talking about it. By the way, I'm not going for any role here. I'm just giving servant leader is a mindset, it's a thought process. A servant leader can be a project manager, can be a delivery manager, senior manager. You sometimes call them as a scrum master. You can be a product owner. You can be anyone. Now it's all role tags. Don't go by role tags. I think many people mapping scrum master is servant leader. Don't ever do that. Servant leader is a thought process, the leadership mindset. This a country's president can be a servant leader. A country's prime minister can be a servant leader. Your company CEO can be a servant leader. Servant leader is a thought, the way you help. Obviously, in Agile, when you read the books, we map and show something called, okay, there is a guy called Scrum Master who will play all this stuff. But servant leader is so broad. Shriram, how to understand servant leader? I give usually this example. A mom and dad is a great servant leader. They are the one shielding you from unwanted distractions. They are the one showing you the vision. They are the one protecting. There is no selfishness there. You can't see a selfishness with the mom and dad. They give anything for you, right? They make sure you move forward. Only thing they want, you have to grow. You have to be happy. That's our ultimate goal of the servant leader at your home. Do you have servant leader at your home? If you have a servant leader at your home, then you will not search anywhere else. It's there in front of you, right? Sometimes you becoming a mom and dad and you are a servant leader. Are you doing that now? You have a children now, little one. Are you doing a servant leader? You try helping them, whatever they want. Sometimes you be a little hard on them. Hey, don't do this. But why you do that? Try to protect them. You guide them. You encourage them. You motivate them. No self behavior there. You keep listening them, what they want to say. You can see your mom, dad, off late, as you grown up, you become a father and mother. They listen you more now because they want to see what my son is saying, what my daughter is saying at this age. So they keep listening, observing, encouraging. So servant leader is nothing but your mom and dad as an example. But how do you do that in a corporate level? Mom and dad are so good with you, but the same mom and dad will have a fight with the opposite home, the next door. I always surprise, mom, you're so good, but you're having a fight with the next door. Why? So it's pretty hard. For their blood relation, they're so connected, but non-blood relation. But here, that's not the game. When you become a servant leader, you come into diversity and inclusion. You will talk about any people, male, female. You talk about anyone challenged in their physical ability. You'll talk about anyone, different people, across or any segment of people will talk. That's a real servant leader. That's where you start seeing Mahatma Gandhi coming there. You see Mother Teresa coming there. You see Nelson Mandela coming there. These are the servant leaders whom you've seen years back. They always encourage people to make it happen, but they don't see any partiality. They'll say everyone is equal and help everyone. Do you see that? If you start seeing such a big picture, you will not get stuck with one role called Scrum Master. You'll start becoming a leader. Of course, Scrum Master helps it. They do that. I'm not saying no, but always start seeing big picture, because when you learn PMI-ACP, you're becoming an agile coach. You're becoming an agile leader. You should not talk so much in the ground level. You should talk a little bigger level, then go to the ground level also, right? Talk a little bigger. So Nidhi is putting a point. Satya Nadal, CEO of Microsoft, did his engineering from Manipal, not from Stanford. Okay, yeah, possible. Anyone can go anywhere. I still believe that you can do anything, anywhere. Only thing you need a passion. You need a conviction with you. Yes, I will do that if it's possible. Even today, I can tell that within 10 years, where you are today, it can change upside down. You can be a different level, topmost level in the world. You can be there. Your name can be so much recognized all over the world. Possible. But only thing, you need that mindset. So that's what needed now. Okay, let's see something on this image. You see a picture on the right side. I know the picture is not so bright, but let's try to understand. There is a servant leader explained. Okay. Don't attach with any role, but I'll try to show that. This is a person called servant leader. So now this person, what has to do is, first thing, show the vision to the team. Vision, goal, focus to the team. Okay, show what they have to do. In the sense, just giving them an idea what is expected. And protect the team from unwanted distractions. Usually we get a lot of distraction from management. The management can give distraction, or sometimes customer directly reach your team and trouble them, or could be some other more project works can pull them. One team member pulling to another project. So these are some distractions keep coming to them. So you as a servant leader will be there, or your servant leader will be there. Try to protect it. I'm using the word try because you can't 100% shield it. But if you do it, super good. You shield the team because you've shown a vision to them. You give a shield to them. When you give a shield and show the vision, they have some room for them to work now. Now, what they have to work? They have to work on their creative activities, what they have to do. When they do that, there'll be some technical blockers, people-oriented blockers, or innovation blockers. Some blockers from your corporate can happen. Now you will try to clear that. Impediments and blockers, you start clearing it out. So you're helping them to clear it. That doesn't mean that you will go and sit and do and work with them. No. So Sriram, there is a technical blocker. My team, a Scrum Master or servant leader has to sit and work. No. You will find the right person. Finding right person is your role. Is it? Sriram, very easy, Sriram. Send one email, it'll come back. Don't talk only from your laptop, your computer perspective. You have to talk a little higher level. Finding a right person, getting a right solution, right time is a skill. Believe me, it's a skill. Some people have it. If you see in your home, there'll be one uncle or an aunt. All family members will reach them only. Anything you reach them, they'll get an answer for it. That too, specifically the marriage function at your home. There'll be one aunt. She'll be around 55, 60 age. She'll be super good in this marriage function. Everyone will come and ask her only what to do. Even the Gurukul will come and ask, ma'am, what to do next. She'll be the one having all the answers. So it's a skill. Okay, don't take it very easy. It's a skill. So you have to solve all those problems. On top of that, you have to give assistance to your team, something they want. Whatever they want, you have to help them. You have to help them. So if you watch out here, you are doing something here. You are shielding them. You are showing the vision. You are helping them. You are clearing the blockers. Now they know what to do. They do the work, right? And this role is called servant leader role. For this, no tag attached. But if you want, you can attach Agile Project Manager, Scrum Master, Delivery Manager, Service Manager, whatever name you want to. But point here is you have to help the team to move forward, right? That's a message. Hope you got what is Scrum Master. Okay, there's a message from Neetu. Yes, you don't need big degrees. It's all about mindset, behavior, attitude. Super, Neetu, you got the point. By the way, are you getting some idea with this picture? What is Scrum Master or what is the servant leader should be? Are you getting it? Are you getting a fair idea? Because I'm going to talk more deep inside now. Okay. Right. So there are some protection, some sort of clearing the impediments, making move forward. You can connect with your parents who did all this for you when you're in school days, right? They try to help you to move forward, showing a vision. Sometimes we don't understand this. When we get old, when we get our children, then we understand what my mom did is right, what my dad did is right. Until we come to the situation, we don't understand. We still feel why these guys are bugging us, right? That's a message. Okay, let's understand something more. Okay, what I said is a servant leader. For servant leader, I gave a tag. Sometimes could be a project manager, sometimes can be a Scrum Master, but you keep helping the team. Now let's talk about the product owner. There are three things in Agile they keep talking. One is a servant leader, other one is a product owner, other one is a team. The next I'll go to team. Now we'll talk about product owner. Product owner. A product is nothing but an outcome of some work what team is going to do. For this, there should be some ownership. Ownership means they own the knowledge and the technical factor of this product. Who can do this effectively? If you ask me, 30, 40 years back in information technology industry, we have a role that is called as project manager. Shriram, we don't have a project manager now. We have it. Now we call as Agile project manager. Those days, a project manager is a person who will involve in the requirement gathering, who will involve in the design of the work, who will involve in the development of the work, who will involve in the test of the work, who will involve in the deployment of the work. All this work are taken care by the one role called project manager. And this person takes care of most of the job. Now, when they say they take most of the job, they will involve, sometimes go very deep inside. They do micromanagement, all were happening. Now, what happened here is in 1980s and 1990s, they started thinking that, why don't we divide it? So there's a requirement and business part. They thought, let's go to the different role. Let's not keep it with the project manager. Let's introduce a role called product owner. And this product owner is a role who is a representative of the customer, is a rep of the customer. Let me take an example. Let's imagine we're doing a project for American Express. American Express as a bank. American Express as a bank. In this bank, they want to do some technical operations, maybe improving their retail customers' operations. For this, either my project manager should have good knowledge in American Express. If not, my project manager has to assume something and do the project. Many projects in 1980s, 1990, 2000, based on assumption it happened. If my project manager is given with a project, this guy, he has some knowledge with ICICI Bank. He has some knowledge with the Citibank. He has some knowledge with some other bank. Based on that, they will start working out. This was good sometime. This was a failure sometime. Then they realized, let's not do this way. What we'll do is, we'll bring a representative directly from American Express. This guy also called as business owner or business analyst. They have amazing business knowledge of American Express. They will come to the premises of this office where ShriLearning, let's imagine it's ShriLearning. This is ShriLearning office, and that is American Express. From American Express, one person will travel to my office, sit with my team, and talk about the requirements, details, and help them to move forward. This brought in a drastic change of how we look at the work. Why? The reason is, this product owner is more knowledgeable about American Express than my project manager. This product owner is more knowledgeable than any of my team members. So this product owner, he or she, has amazing knowledge. What is American Express? In American Express, which is important, which is unimportant, he and she knows very well. Now, when they come to my work, they'll tell me, Shriram, I want this by January. I want this by February. That makes valuable sense because they know the business. So now what happened is, a portion of work of project manager, which is on business work, has been transferred to another role called as product owner. Okay, let me give a pause here. How many of you seen this kind of role in your projects? Agile, non-agile. Anyone seen this kind of roles? You have seen a role who talks business, purely business, from the customer side, not from your company, from the customer side. Non-agile scene, very good. Happy to know. Happy to see most of you know that. Now you will tell me, Shriram, you're telling from American Express somebody is coming. But actually, you know what? I don't see anyone from American Express in my company. Rather, I have one business analyst in my company, and this person is in touch with American Express. Something like this happens for you. Shriram, I don't have any employee from American Express coming here. Whereas my company employed a business guy, and this guy talks to American Express. You feel that? If you feel that, that's called proxy PO. Okay, I hope you're getting the word. It's called proxy product owner. Proxy. In college, we give proxy, right? Yes, sir. Shriram in the class, but that guy went for the movie. Yes, sir. Proxy. So proxy PO. That proxy PO is nothing but a representation of that particular actual product owner. Some company does it because American Express cannot send anybody here. Rather, American Express will have the business guy sitting in their office. My team member, Ramesh, I'm naming somebody Ramesh. The Ramesh will become a proxy PO. So Ramesh will talk every day with American business guy, understand the requirement, priority, details, and come back and tell to my team. Is this happening now? You may be from any industry, this can be happening. If it's not happening, it will happen going forward because the project manager carried a heavy load on the shoulder. Project requirement, a design discussion, work to be done, testing. Now that load has been reduced. Why they have to reduce? By reducing this, we got more job opportunity. You can understand, right? A project manager is one role who does all this work. Now they splitted it. They got somebody called product owner, team, testing, servant leader, all came into picture. You get multiple roles happening. At the same time, they can specialize. They can empower them. So this is happening in the market. Okay. Specifically in IT industry is pretty famous. They use the word PO. PO means a business guy from the customer side. That's how it is. Okay. There is something from Nitish. Proxy PO may or may not have the same knowledge, understanding as like obviously, right? Proxy is proxy. How come? Proxy can imitate like Shriram, but cannot be a Shriram. Is that right? Yes, sir, Shriram in the class. Then they'll tell, hey, who is Shriram? I'm not Shriram. I'm just representing Shriram. So you cannot become that, right? It's highly possible. So no other go, right? When you have a geographically distributed, time zone distributed, you cannot. See, I'm working for one of the biggest financial institution in the US, very big institution. And now what happen is they'll create a proxy from there and send the proxy to this group. And proxy only will work. But you should put the right person in the right place. That's up to your company's choice. But definitely proxy will help a lot. Okay. So now let's understand something about the role of the proxy or role of the product owner. What they do, they manage economics. What managing economics? Setting the right priority to be delivered. Participate in planning. Whatever the team does the planning, this person of representative will be there. Let's keep in mind American Express send a person. American Express front, this person be in your team, talk about priority, talk about planning, talk about refining the work. I'll explain more about going forward, and accept the work. Defining the acceptance criteria. For a work to be completed, we need acceptance criteria that will be done by this person. Collaborate with the team regularly. Collaborate with the stakeholders outside of your team. Outside of your team, whom they have to collaborate? They have to collaborate with their management in American Express. See, American Express will have a lot of project managers, product managers. Then they have to collaborate with them. What all happening? Ideally, you have to understand that this is a very, very crucial role. Now you can ask me, Shriram, can I become a product owner just like that? The answer will be no. If I want to give an honest answer, I'll tell that you should be a person who has a knowledge on their business. If you don't have a knowledge in their business, you cannot behave as a product owner. You can act, but you can't really behave. So I should know full banking operation of American Express. I should have a depth interest on the banking system. I should have the interest of converting the banking system into software. If it is software project, I'm telling. If it is a construction, if it is infrastructure, you should have an interest towards it. If you don't have that, you cannot become a product owner. So what are the courses I can read, Shriram? There is something called PBA. Business Analyst certification is there. There is something certification on POPM. Product Owner, Product Manager certification is there. There are some roles for specific, for example, finance means finance related, you have to learn the subject. You have to learn how it works. Only when you get all this stuff, chances are you can become a better product owner. If not, you can be there. I'm not saying no. You can just exchange things that you can do, but you cannot make an impact in the world. If you want to make them impact, you should possess this knowledge. This is PO. What you saw is a servant leader. Servant leader is a top of all, helping each other, shielding the people, clearing the impediments, supporting the team. This we do. Here, this person is contacting the customer. Now, two things are very clear. One is going to support you, shield the team, make it happen. One person is going to details. Both are ready. When now both are ready, do you think now team can just focus on what they have to do? What is your thought? Do you think that team can focus just what they have to do? Because one person is going to shield you from all the distractions. One person is going to tell, this is my priority. Somebody is setting a clear priority, clarity on the work. Some person is going to shield you from unwanted distraction, giving you all the help you need. Now you have to be only focused. That only focused team is going to come inside. And that team, sometimes we call as a development team, functional team, or maybe you use the word team. Nowadays they use the word agile team. That's a word they use here. Now, what do you mean by now team here? Now, what happened here is, again, here's something I have to explain you. In many companies, we have something called functional departments. Analyst department is there, testing department is there, developer department, and design department. Each will be department wise. Now, we were working like this. For me, at least 7-8 years back, this is what I was working. We'll have a different teams there. Once a work is completed, I have to reach their team. That team will give me some answers. And it will be like team oriented. Later, what happened? 8 years back or 12 years back, when I started working in Agile, they said, let's pick up people from each of this team and put together. That's called development team. So it's called cross-functional. What do you mean by cross-functional? Cross-functional. You have everyone in your team. You take specialty of all these guys, put into one group, and it's called cross-functional team. And this team is capable. Now, if you see the colors here, maybe amber, blue, dark blue. If you see here, an analyst is inside the system, a developer is inside the system, a tester is inside the system, comprising of a team. A team could be size of 3 to 9 people. These 3 to 9 people are capable of what they are capable of. They are capable of defining the work. Define the work. They are capable of developing the work, what they have to do. They're capable of testing the work. They're capable of even deploying the work to the customer. So now if you watch out here, it's called as cross-functional self-organizing teams. What do you mean by self-organizing? They can define the work, they can develop it, they can test it, they can deploy it. On top of that, we have somebody called product owner who gives all the details to them about the work. On top of that, we have somebody called Scrum Master, or you can call it as a servant leader, who is going to protect this team from unwanted distractions and make them to move forward. Now, this format really works well if you religiously follow. You know why you say this last statement? I'll tell you why. There are many people here call themselves as some Scrum Master and servant leader, but still they are doing the same project manager work. What that mean? They assign work to the team. In Agile, you shouldn't assign the work. The team will pick up the work. But still some people assign work. And team will do the work and they'll talk to each other how the work is moving. Talk to each other. But what our people do? Set up every day 20 minutes, 30 minutes phone call. Bug these guys, what work you did? Where are you? What are you doing? Did you sleep? Did you eat? They'll ask them. So some people in the name of Scrum Master behave exactly the project manager. They are from the old world. Still they live in the same way. Product owner role is decent now. There is no problem there until somebody mentioned here, proxy will not have knowledge. That problem is here. You will have a proxy PO who don't have a proper knowledge. You have a manager who behave as an old traditional manager, but call themselves as a servant leader. And you have a proxy owner, product owner, who is not clear with the knowledge. And development team don't know what they have to do. They always fight within them for the priority. This confusion is happening in many corporates. And they call themselves as agile team, but they behave in the same old format. This is where it's failing. And they'll tell that agile is failing. The all problem starts from here because these people don't understand servant leader. This is why I have to explain about Peter Drucker. This is why I have to explain about a mom, dad as a servant leader. Why I have to give all this is we sometimes behave as a traditional managers, not understanding some of your requirement roles are getting to a different place. Some of your team members are knowledge workers. They can plan really well, better than you. Do anyone here watch out in your companies, somewhere you work or are working? They call it agile, but it's not the way it's happening. Anyone feel that? Anyone have that feel? It should be agile, but you know what? It's a ad hoc agile. It's a ad hoc agile. They call only the agile in the paper. It's a ad hoc agile. You feel that? Okay, I'm seeing some of them saying yes. Okay, yeah, it happens. Now you are going to become that change agent. You learn these classes because you want to change agent. You don't force people, but you will tell some of the good things about agile. And some of the big companies are very successful because they religiously follow agile. They follow it. They take it very seriously. Servant leader will behave servant leader. Team will behave knowledge workers. Product owner behaves a real business person. When this all happens, I'm sure you can move forward, right? So you saw three roles: servant leader, product owner, and team. Okay, just give a clue for you. Of course, this is not well into the first chapter, but I thought of explaining it because after you go deep inside, you may have all these questions coming up. Just I put that. Okay, now let's move a little more. Now, what is the next movement? Next movement is how a project look like. Somebody in this group, I think, asked how the planning works in Agile. Planning is a fifth chapter. I have to explain very elaborately, but for now, I'll give a little highlight of how it works in Agile. Any project, it could be of a predictive or adaptive or agile, non-agile. It starts with a contract. Okay, a contract could be of an agreement. We call it as a contract. Sometimes we call it as SOW, statement of work. It starts like this, that two people sign to each other. Hey guys, let's do the work. Okay, how do they sign the contract? There may be a contract telling that we want to come with a shopping cart. Let's say shopping cart to be done. This shopping cart, they tell approximately we will charge you $3 million. $3 million. It's a contract getting signed. How they get the $3 million, we'll learn it a little later. For now, understand $3 million is the signature happen. Now that's a project here. The project is coming up with a shopping stuff. Okay, shopping cart. Now a shopping cart to be done means shopping cart is a kind of online application to be done. Now for this, now they want to put a plan. Now what they do is they call us a release plan. Let's imagine this project needs two release. Release 1, so release 2. So what is expected in release 1? In release 1, expected is you should have something for people to log in, plus they should be able to purchase. Log in and purchase. What they can purchase could be of dress materials. This is what expected in release 1. So in release 1, you want to log in, you want to purchase. When you say purchase, definitely you should have all the screens available. Payment gateway should work, and dress materials should be part of your purchasing. Release 2, they want something more. They want something called grocery items to be there in the shopping they can buy. Plus, you have to introduce something called reward system. What is a reward system? A person who stays in your application for a long time, you give rewards points for them, some renewal stuff there. This is what expected to be done. Now, how they will plan when the contract is getting signature, they will have a high level of detail. There is shopping cart expected. In shopping cart, high level features, we call it as Excel, big, large one. We call it as large, medium, small. I can put some items as large. For example, I can tell purchase. Purchase could be extra large, purchase. Because purchase includes choosing an item, putting the billing. I'll put the features like that. Medium can be your login screen. I'm just telling that. Large can be, let's say, reward system. They'll write this in an Excel sheet of all the features which is expected. When the contract getting signature, they will have all these details. Sure, everything be elaborated, not elaborated at a high level, because I can do a benchmark. If I want to open a shopping cart application, I definitely will see something in the market. I'll do a benchmark. Benchmark means looking something in the market. Looking that plus my unique stuff, I'll put a list. And the company which I'm tie up with, let's say Accenture is going to take this project. Accenture executives will come. They'll start seeing all those stuff. They'll tell this will take 1 month to complete. This will take maybe 2 weeks to complete. This will take at least 2 months to complete. They start putting the list here, approximately. By what? Historical knowledge. They'll make a historical knowledge, look at the benchmark, they make something here, and then they communicate to the customer. Hey guys, with the list of items, what we discussed last week, we come to a conclusion, it will take 3 months of time or 6 months of time. For this 6 months, we need 12 resources to work. 12 resources, 6 months. They'll put some hour calculation, they come with the billing price. Don't worry, I'll explain in some other place where I have all the calculations, but for now I'm giving a high level. So they put a budget telling that $3 million will happen. The contract will tell that when I come close to the end of the contract project, we'll reevaluate. We will see, have we done with the work, or we will extend the contract. Many companies keep extending the contract until the work is completed. Or some companies, exactly on the date contract closed. Whatever you've done, it's closed. So you have to hand over the work to the company itself, whatever they want. Let's imagine ShriLearning want to come with a shopping cart. ShriLearning want to come with a shopping cart. And we are approaching Accenture. So Accenture will give a contract for 8 months of time, 8 months contract. In this 8 months, Accenture should complete. If they don't complete, they will hand over all the work, knowledge transition happen. Sometimes penalties will happen. They put a penalties, but offline to the agile concepts, penalties are not happening. They're telling that let's extend the contract or hand over the work wherever you are. I'm not getting into that place because in chapter 2, I have contract explanation, agile contracting. There I'll explain more about it. For now this has happened here. Now, projects going to be high level, release going to be high level. If you ask me, Shriram, do you know what to be done in reward system? I don't know. Do you know what to be in the groceries, how to list it? I don't know. Do you know about purchase and dress materials? I don't know. Now, what do you know? I know next to 2 weeks, my team has to work on login screen. Next to 2 iterations, I will focus more on login. This is a 2 weeks iteration. Again, this is 2 weeks iteration. Totally 4 weeks. 4 weeks can be 1 month of time. In this 1 month, my team will more focus on login, 2-way authentication, 3-way authentication, whatever it is, or login plus maybe the purchase, login plus dress material. So initially, my team will have only idea for first 3 to 4 iterations. It's called N+2 or N+3. N means current sprint plus 3 sprints. You can use the word sprint or iteration interchangeably. Both are equivalent terminology. N+2 means the next 3 to 4 iterations only I have a clarity what all to be done. So rest all what will happen? I know I have to do grocery. I know I have to do reward system. I know other items also. But did I elaborate it? No. I will have at the high level. I'll call it as Excel, large, medium size. That's it. There I stop. When I'll get the detail, when I complete this iteration, my team move a little forward. Now I'll start talking for the next iteration. When I complete this one and move forward, again, I'll talk for this. So this is called progressive. This is called iterative. This is called incremental. So when I reach this particular release, maybe in 2 months of time, my team is done with the login, purchase of dress material, and this package, it can be called as MVP, minimum viable product. Now my first release goes to the market, people can use it. Maybe I can wait for 2 months and launch, up to you, or I can launch within 2 weeks. Within 2 weeks, I'll give only login screen. In the web, I go ShriLearning, shoppingcart.com. It'll have a login screen. I can create a profile for myself. That's what I can do. Purchase, not now. Purchase coming soon. Within the next 2 weeks, I'll give another one. You can add as you wish like that, or you can wait for an MVP to be achieved. What is MVP? A packet which can be usable, make sensible. So a login, purchase a screen, payment gateway, all works. A small, simple thing. In 2 months, we launch. They'll go click, it'll work. Google Meet. In the year 2020 March, they launched very aggressively so that they can capture the market, because Zoom is picking up heavily in 2020 COVID. Google Meet came into picture. Google Meet, do they have all the features when they launch? What they have today? They have a minimal feature. They launched it. That's a MVP first. MVP says that video should work, audio should work, students should do all the stuff. Now slowly they're adding one by one. So it go release 1, release 2, release 3. It keep going up. Now message here is, in Agile project, we have a contracting system. We have a high level details. We know what all to be done. We overall know it's called shopping cart. But do I have all the details written down? No. I have minimal details which is needed for upcoming work. Maybe 3-4 iterations. 3-4 iterations can be 2 months of work. When my team is focusing on 2 months of work, I will start working on next month of requirement. Now, question to you. When the team is focusing on the work, who will talk about the upcoming work? Who will do that job? Question to you. Who will do the upcoming job? And the team is focusing on the work, who will do the job? Okay, many are telling PO, but that's a wrong answer. Team will do that. Team will do that. Seriously? Are you kidding me? We are doing the work here, man. When I will have my time? Yes, you have to do that. When you are busy in 2 weeks of work, in 2 weeks, you have to spend at least 4 to 8 hours of your time talking for upcoming work. Yikes, man. This is so brutal. Do you feel that? Sure, this is brutal, man. You guys want me to do the work? You guys want me to talk about the next work? You have to plan your work as such. You will not take all work for all 10 days. You will take work which you can do. You will have some time for yourself to talk for upcoming work. That's called grooming. That's called refinement. So what they do, they'll allocate 10% of their 10% of one iteration time. I'll take more deep later. Let's take this as a 2 weeks time. 2 weeks means how many working days? Can somebody tell me? 2 weeks means how many working days? Hardly 10 working days. If it is 10 working days, how many hours of work? Can somebody tell me? Indian standard timeline, because different country has different working time. 80 hours. Shall we say 80 hours? If you are going to work 80 hours per this iteration, in this, you have to use 10% of your time for upcoming work. How much 10% of time? 8 hours. Okay. Now, if it is 2 weeks of time, let's say week 1, again, week 2. Now, if I say 8 hours, can I split into 2? I can put 4 hours here. I can put 4 hours here. Now, this 8 hours, when you are working here, you should talk for the work here. You should talk for the work here. You should talk for the work here. That's what called as N+3. You will always keep something ready, upcoming. So a product owner cannot sit and talk individually. Whom he will talk with, he or she. The product owner will have his team along with them, keep talking for the upcoming work. Who will facilitate it? Who will facilitate it? Servant leader, who is also called as a Scrum Master. They will facilitate it. Now tell me, do you think Agile is doing frequent planning? Agile is doing proper analysis of upcoming work? You will tell, yes, they do that. Yeah, I have to explain more about it, but just to give a heads up to you. Okay, what I do is, by the way, I have to explain more about this. Don't try to get all information in the first screen itself. More to come. I just gave a highlight for you. There is a question here. Santosh says 1 day 8 hours should go for grooming. Okay, very good. And Santosh says it will be done during sprint review or during sprint. During sprint. First of all, I didn't explain you all the ceremonies and sprint. So please hold on some more time. I'll explain it. Okay. Because some people don't know that. I'll explain all the ceremonies, then I'll do that. For now, quick answer for you is during sprint. Okay. All right. All right. Let's go to that. Okay. Up to this, did you got some base idea? Agile is working in some form here. You see some form here. If you are never worked in Agile. Okay. If you never worked in Agile, you have to get a form. Sure, this is good, man. This is what we do in our project also. If you feel that, well and good. Okay. Okay. Vasant is asking who will take care of budgeting and forming a team. So now it's a very beautiful question. Now, what happened here is in many corporates, the senior directors and managers are taking charge for a long time about the budgeting part. But now recent days, last 3-4 years, I'm hearing they are recruiting a person who is capable of handling a team, also being a Scrum Master. So Scrum Master or servant leader role is a part-time role. You should also take care of your team. You should work out for the appraisal system for the team. You should work on conflict management. You should negotiate. You should also take care of the budgeting and timing of the project. So nowadays, the recruitments are happening like this. You not only Scrum Master, you become a role. They're asking, the Scrum Master is one of the category of you, but you also should take care of the team factor. Do you see this happening in the market? If you do see that, things are changing now. So project manager role is needed there who take care of budgeting factor. But again, in Agile, budgeting is pretty simple comparatively. The reason is we move in a small chunk. Anything failure, it is readily evident in face of you. And also you have the customer representative sitting with you. They really know there is a budget constraint going to happen. You don't need to break the head. If it's a well-planned project, like a construction project, huge budget allocated, every pressure goes on manager. This guy has to intimate the sponsor regularly. But here, it's always a transparent. They know that. A contract signed for 2 years, 3 million project. When you come to close to end of second year, they will see and evaluate, can we complete or we have to extend the contract? Or anything alarming, you will highlight immediately because we start moving in a small chunk, right? That's a point. Right, Santosh says, yes, POs are expecting Scrum Master to take care of costing and sizing team. POs are expecting. Why PO should they expect? PO should they do their role? PO should talk only business. Why should they expect Scrum Master to do this stuff? Okay, POs are just to tell what is high priority, what is low priority. PO has to help that, yes, we have these many features available. But when it comes to other factor, yes, project manager will take care. Of late, I'm seeing mostly Agile project manager who is capable of handling the team, who is capable of handling the project, who is also capable of being a Scrum Master. This is what I'm seeing, at least in India circle. But if you go to some other countries, they call it as a customer success leader or a customer leader. And this person takes charge of people, budgeting, and customer satisfaction area. Under this customer leader, they will have a couple of Scrum Masters. They will work together. So it's all, still we're in the transition mode. We are yet to get the full form, but I can see different roles in corporates. But if you are a good person who can talk people management, budgeting, time management, Scrum Master, servant leader, you are a hot cake in the market. People feel, ooh, I'll pay double the back because you can do all the stuff, right? They'll take you. It depends. Depends on organization, depends on size of the team, all goes to that, right? Okay, let's move a little more. Wasn't this putting another question? Whether Agile Project Manager replaced a Scrum Master or will work under Agile Project Manager. Okay, Agile Project Manager, I think just now I was talking the same topic. I'll repeat it one more time. So we are seeing it's a combination of things. Agile Project Manager plus Scrum Master is a market trend right now. If you ask me 7-8 years back, I will tell no. There was a role called Project Manager. There was a role called Scrum Master. Now they found that why we need different roles, they're bringing together. And some of the articles started talking about Scrum Master is not a heavy role. So let that be a part-time role. Rest of the time, let them take care of the team-related factor, project-related factor. Are you good, Vasant? So it's getting a part-time role. Fantastic. Let's keep moving a little more. Okay. Since I said something about the project, I'll give a little zoom inside that. Now, what I'm going to show you here is project, how it works in Agile. I'll give some typical pattern. some here and there adjustments will be in your company. I'll give a typical pattern how it works. Now in Agile, I'm not talking Scrum, I'm talking Agile. Okay, Scrum is one of the methodology. I'm talking general Agile. Project initiation is a starting stage. We sometimes call as an inception stage. We'll go understand the requirement clearly. From this only, they'll create a extra large, medium size of work. They group it. They make a budgeting. All stuff happens. That's a different segment. Let's not go there. Then we do the release planning. Release planning, I showed you. Release 1, release 2, release 3. A release which makes sensible to the market for the company. How the work happens. We call it as iterations. In an Agile, iterations can be 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. 1 week iteration, 2 week iteration, 3 week iteration, 4 week iteration. If you choose some iteration model, you will follow the same all over the project until other than drastic problem happens and a change happens. If not, it will continue the same. Let me ask somebody here working in Agile projects. What is the iteration time you are working in your project? 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 2 weeks. Huh? Okay, I'm seeing 2 coming up. Okay, I'm saying, let me see any other number here. 2 weeks, I'm seeing a lot. There are people 3. Wow. There are people 4. Wow, that's good, man. Wow, I'm so surprised to see 4. Reshma, you 4 weeks happening? It's really good, yeah. So what is the domain?
Yes, I'm from IT, and we have hybrid approach. Okay, so not just particularly on particularly Agile planning is happening in Waterfall, and then the development is happening, design is happening in Sprint, Scrum.
Okay, are you able to complete in 4 weeks when you do all this in planned Waterfall model?
Yes. So requirement gathering, T-shirt sizing. So the recently we completed one project, okay, and we are heading with another project, and that is with 4 weeks.
All right, that's interesting. See, I worked in Verizon for a long time. 12 years I spent time in Verizon. So I have seen their iterations are lengthy iterations. Then later they found lengthy iterations. Sometimes we couldn't complete because we take a big piece of work, because 4 weeks, right? We pick big piece of work. We couldn't complete it, then it'll spill over. But when you spill over, what happened here is 4 weeks gone, nothing delivered, spill over. Rather, we took 2 weeks iteration, we take limited work, complete it. Even if we can't complete it, end of second week, we'll understand what's the problem. We can make course correction. Within next 2 weeks, something we can complete. This was one format we followed, but if you guys are doing good job, happy for it.
Yeah, so the reason I had similar question with my team as well. So this is the starting phase of the project. We are going with the large digital transformation pricing tool. We are changing totally. So the starting may be, what I understand, starting will be with 4 weeks of because bigger chunk, there are a lot of bigger requirements and all because of that. Or maybe when we go to closer to the where we have more good clear requirement, maybe then they will change the iteration model. It is a 3 years project, so we are start of the project now.
Okay. It's up to the client, right? Client decides what they want. We cannot force them, but my recommendation is go with a shorter cycle, easy for you. Because I'll tell you the reasons for that. You said in the beginning you have a lot of work, right? Whatever work you have, whatever work it is, you can put as a 2 weeks of time. And only thing, the business owner or the product owner has to set the priority properly. If they can set, if they feel something is very important, you have to deliver that in the first 2 weeks. Yes, you have to pick it up. So instead of going 4 weeks, pretty longer, I feel at present, but I didn't see the proportion of your team, all the stuff. But still, 4 is a little risky. 2 is you fail fast. In Agile, they call us a fail fast. I'll tell you an example here. Okay, I'll start with this and I'll come back to you. So now in Agile, what they do is first iteration is called as iteration 0 in Agile. What is iteration 0 is they will do POC of the upcoming new project. They will do ground setting of technical factors, licensing, getting laptops and computers, setting up the environment. They'll do all this for 2 weeks. 2 weeks could be for 10 days of time. In 10 days, my team is getting ready. Warm up. If you go to sports, first you do some warm up, shoulder stretch, or you'll do. And the reason is when you play the game, I don't want to get the pain. So I'll get ready. The get ready will happen for 2 weeks. This is customer paid time. Okay. Usually customer pays money only when you give deliverable. And this is the only iteration. Without deliverable, they'll pay you because they feel that you're getting ready. Once you get ready happen, the game starts. First game. First game is first iteration. It could be 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, as you wish. I'll take the general example, 2 weeks. In 2 weeks, I'll give some deliverable. And this deliverable can be only a login screen. I'm just taking IT as an example. It could be different projects also. Or could be some deliverable which is usable for them. So my point here is, every time we take some work, that work should be some deliverable form. So now next 2 weeks, I'll deliver something more in the shopping cart. Next iteration. Imagine totally 4 iteration happen. 4 iteration will be 2, 4, 6, 8. Totally 8 weeks of time. So 8 weeks is equal to 2 months of time. My team worked 2 months. In this 2 months, they delivered something. Imagine they delivered a login screen with a shopping payment gateway all done. Payment gateway done within this 2 months. Now, initially they spent 2 weeks, 1 iteration for setting up the ground, iteration 0. And there is something called hardening. Hardening is the last iteration. Here, you will fix any open bug. You will make everything ready, platform ready. You will do knowledge transfer. These all happen in the last iteration. So there is a start, there is an end. If you go to Scrum Methodology books, you will not see certain things, they'll remove out. But it's a general recommendation of Agile projects. This I have seen it. First iteration starts with a 0. You set the ground, makes sense. Then you start the work. You start delivering continuously. Once all the work is over, finally you harden it and hand over to the customer. This is the trend in the market, right? In this, you can have 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. Sometime there won't be any deliverable in the second iteration, 0 deliverable. When you do 0 deliverable, what will happen? Customer is, of course, unhappy. Why you can't deliver it? You will do retrospective. When you do retrospective, that correction, you will bring it back in the third iteration. That is the reason they keep it as a small iteration, so that a mistake can be known immediately. I don't want to fail in my life at the age of 70. I want to fail right now. If I fail right now, I can correct it in the next year. If I don't have a plan and I fail at the age of 70 and come to know I lost all my time, now I can't go back and do any correction. Life is gone, age is gone. So you have to try to fix it as early. That's why they keep small cycling, a sensible size. A sensible size is 2 weeks so far. But I'm not telling 4 is bad, 3 is bad, but 2 is sensible right now. Okay. Okay, Vasant is asking whether iteration 0 still exists. Vasant, can I understand a little more? What do you mean by still exist? So how long you have seen Agile, where you seen it's a problem, why you ask still exists? Well, the word still, why it comes?
Yeah, actually, if you see for the iteration 0 as of now, they don't see like any value, right? Like we are not delivering anything. So it can be part of iteration 1 itself. So that
who sees no value?
Because what you see, like even if you installing a software, it's a, I mean, what I'm saying is installing software is a value, right, to the project. So why can't it be part of iteration 0? So iteration 1. Why need to be iteration 0?
Okay.
Since it is a part of the project. That's what my question.
Okay. Then you use the word still. Why you use the word still? Do you feel it's old or outrendered?
Yeah, but as of now, I'm not seeing like past 2 years. I'm not seeing iteration 0. Only iteration 1. And also hardening sprint. I'm not seeing it. Earlier, I seen there is a kind of a sprint will be attached in the middle, like before third or fourth sprint, there will be one sprint, kind of refactoring sprint or something. So they'll be refactoring everything. So
got you. Why I target that question is when the Scrum book, if you read in the Scrum book, 0 iteration won't be there. They straight away start with the 1. What you're reading here is the Agile concepts. Agile is above Scrum. The best recommendation of Agile is start with 0. And I have seen some projects pretty successful when they start with 0. The reason is ground setting will take few days of time. You cannot bluntly ask your team to start the work on the first day. We have to ask the people to do some gel up with them. It's called team forming stage, Tuckman rule. Team forming should happen. Team should gel up with one another. You have to talk to the respective stakeholders, understand the business, do a proof of concept. Technical understanding should be done. For this time, you have to give some breathing time for them. At the same time, for every first iteration, they'll expect deliverable. Now we'll come to your point. You said you start from the first iteration. Do you give deliverable on the first iteration, or you do just some work there?
No, it won't be kind of a deliverable actually. But it's showing the customer like we are also these things are part of the project. but we are not delivering because all iteration we won't be delivering, right? As you say, like third iteration, suppose if you are not delivering, we may be correct in the next sprint, like moving forward, like carry forwarding the ticket, that kind of a thing. So
Right.
in that such a way, I'm saying.
Right. So ideally, you are also doing something called iteration 0. So first iteration, you won't deliver anything, right?
Yeah, sort of, yeah.
As per customer thing, as per the agile concepts, when an iteration starts for the project, you should deliver value. It could be some form you should deliver value. If you don't deliver value, you have to do a retrospective. Why you can't deliver it? What made you not to deliver it? Then why you made that commitment? You have to correct that mistakes next time. So iteration 1 should start with the deliverable. You cannot tell first ball I'll make 0. I'm just practicing. You want first ball at least 1 run to be scored. Do you like that in cricket, in IPL?
Yeah.
You like that? You want to tell somebody stroking there, talk. I'm practicing. Do that to the Nets, man. Come on here, play the first ball of 1 run. We have only 20 overs. It's not a 5-day match. It's a 20 overs match. When that's the case, Agile recommends first go with 0, make the ground ready, then start the work. So that people has a gel up, technology understood, people understood, business understood. Now when you start with a bang. Make sense?
Yeah. Actually, the other way around, they're doing it like, as I told, like initially the software setup, the iteration 1, and also some sort of UI screen. Suppose if a UI is there, like
Right.
login page alone, like only UI, not integrated with the API.
Yeah. Instead of calling 0, you're calling 1. That's a difference. Okay. Santosh putting a question. Do you mean retrospective will be part of development iteration? By the way, since this question came quickly, I'll explain that part also. Oh, okay. Take this question. We have hardly how many minutes? 5 minutes. We'll go to that part also.
Shriram, just one question. If you're, yeah, Shriram, if you go to the previous slide.
Shall we complete this question? Go back.
Yeah, sure. No issues.
Yeah, Santosh, I'll come to you. I have 2 Santosh. I don't know which Santosh I'm talking. Okay. Answer this question. Which reflects agile focus on team empowerment? Team empowerment. Where are you empowering the team? You are giving more opportunity to the team. You're thinking team is so good. This is a principle. This is principle number 5. Build projects around motivated individuals. Give them the environment, support they need, and make the work happen. Right? That's a point. Okay, good. So now I'll go back to the screen. There's some question. Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Yeah, here, like if we are having, say, this you are showing for one release, right? Iterations. So consider if we are having more than one release, say 4 or 5 releases, and do we have to have this 0th sprint in each release? Because
no. See, if something shows release planning happened here, let's imagine it's only one release project because the project is going to be getting closed here. You saw that?
Oh, okay, fine.
If not, this will happen once. This will happen once.
Yeah, got it.
And that's it. I think this is what good thing of starting and closing. You pack it properly. That's what's happening.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, but we're at the top of the time. I thought of explaining the stuff on that case.
Hi,
okay,
Santosh, regarding my query about this, whether this retrospective can be part of this development iteration, because you said there can be, to correct ourselves, there can be a small iteration to correct ourselves.
Right.
So whether retrospective will be part of development iteration, and what will be the duration for the same?
Yeah. Shall I take 10 minutes to explain this screen, which will cover all the stuff?
Absolutely.
What's the time now? We are exactly top of the time. You guys have another 10 minutes? We'll talk to this?
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
Okay, right. So I know it's the top of the time. Please bear another 10 minutes. We'll cover this topic. Somebody late in the night, please hold on. Okay, let's close this out. So now, I know I have skipped a couple of screens came here because I want to explain this. The question came about retrospective. Also, you are in the form now. What is Agile? Now, in Agile, what happened here is, first thing we'll understand, this is called product backlog. Product backlog. You may not hear this word backlog if you're not in Agile. Backlog means we'll think that unfinished work, undone work kind of feel you'll get. But here, they use a backlog for the work which are upcoming, which we're going to do. In Agile, we don't have requirement documentation. very elaborately. We will not have WBS. We will not have a design documents. Nothing will be written there. They'll put all the work into one box. That box is called backlog, product backlog. It will have all the requirement details here. And this backlog will consist of the work which is very important at the top level. They call as a high priority. Priority level 1 will be here. Priority level 10 may go down. Okay, the work will be like this. Who will maintain this backlog? If you ask me, it's not the project manager, is not the team. It is all maintained by a role. Who's that guy? This person is a American Express representative. Who is that? Product owner. So product owner takes the full responsibility of maintaining it. Okay. So now we'll talk more about product backlog as I move deep inside. But for now, understand it's a place you have all the work. How to remember this? I would have given some example earlier. If not, I will call it as a refrigerator. In your home, there is a refrigerator which has all the item for next 1 week of time. It has all the item 1 week of time. But when you open the door, in the first visible rack, what you will have? In first visible rack in front of you, what you will have? You will have an item which is immediate need for the upcoming day. Is it so? Is it right? This is what we do at your home. Refrigerator has all the items, but some items are kept enclosed in front of you, which is going to be easily picked up. Of course, women at home know very well about the refrigeration maintenance. Also, some of the refrigerator nowadays coming so big. In refrigerator, they have a rice, wheat, everything inside there. I don't know who found to keep the rice inside the refrigerator. But anyway, so now point is refrigerator has all the content, but from the morning, my mom will pick up only the important item first and keep it on the table. Now, a product backlog is like a refrigerator. And from here, team will pick up some item which they're going to work for the upcoming iteration. That is called as sprint backlog or iteration backlog. Sprint backlog. Okay. What you're seeing is a product backlog. It's like a refrigerator. On a kitchen table, morning 7 o'clock or 6:30, if we enter, there'll be a lot of small plastic covers packs. These are nothing but the item to be cooked this morning, to be cooked for the lunch. That is called sprint backlog, recent item which we are going to work. But who set the priority? This guy set the priority. Out of all these items in the refrigerator, I want these items to be completed. So this will come out. Okay, this is the item on the right. Now let's imagine an item came in. For the shopping cart, I said something called login screen you want. Login screen related work to be done. Something on payment gateway work should be started. Payment gateway work should be started. These are the two items given to you. Item 1, item 2. This should be done in a sprint. Let's imagine a sprint is 2 weeks of sprint. Our team has taken 2 weeks sprint, which is nothing but 10 days of time. You can call it as iteration. You can call it as sprint as you wish. Naming convention as you wish. Now it is a 10 days. The green line is a 10 days. When you want to start this work, the first day you have to do something called sprint planning. Now your sprint planning can happen for nearly 4 hours of time. 4 hours. Morning 9 o'clock, it will start on the first day morning. 4 hours they sit and talk about this particular work. How we are going to do this. What are things to be done? They elaborated, discuss about it, this work. Here we'll have a team size of 3 to 9 people or a technical people. 3 is the minimal, 9 is the max. Don't go beyond that recommendation. Apart from this, you will have 1 Scrum Master, 1 product owner. All these guys will sit together and talk about how we are going to do this. Already decided that this is the high priority. Product owner says that from American Express, we want this. Or from shopping cart, we want this. They explained it. You pick it up, planning happens. Once the planning happens, that day itself work will start. Totally in a day, we have 8 hours. In 8 hours, 4 hours planning happen. Rest time, they will do the work. Yeah, day passes. Second day morning, they have something called stand-up. The daily stand-up is a place they meet for talking for 15 minutes. In this 15 minutes, the people of 3 to 9 people will tell that, hey, this is what I did yesterday. This is what I'm going to do today. I have no blockers. Or somebody will tell, I did something on the login UI screen creation. I have some password entry, the star mark, there is some problem. Can somebody help me? One guy will tell, I'm good on that, man. I've done it before. Let me talk to you by post-lunch, ping me, okay? I have some work. Post-lunch, reach out to me, I'll help you. Now somebody says, I'm working on the payment gateway, but I don't understand how this Razorpay payment things works. And now the Scrum Master says, do anyone in this team have idea about Razorpay? No, we don't. So Scrum Master says that, okay, I have an SME in a different team. What I do is I'll contact this SME. to get some details for you. I'll contact you by 4 o'clock. So they'll talk something about like this, what is needed for today and tomorrow. So they keep moving. Every day they talk for 15 minutes only on this goal to achieve, only on this goal, these 2 items, nothing else. They keep on moving, going. And they came to last day, 9th day. 10th day is going to come. Now, 10th day, what is the aim is this goal to be achieved. Who set the goal? Team set the goal for themselves. Based on what? Product owner gave a priority. I want these 2 things, login, payment gateway. We agreed we'll do that. And we will see on the last day, have we did that? When we see this, it is called as a review. It is called as a demonstration. The team will show the login screen, also payment gateway to one person. Who is that person? Can somebody guess it? We have to show the review and demonstration to somebody now on the 10th day. Whom you will show? Product owner. The representative of American Express will come and sit with you. This guy is always there. Every day is there, he or she. Still, they'll come on the last day to show demonstration. As per the agreed, you should complete the goal. But Shriram, my team, done login page completely. But payment gateway, 90% done. 10 more % pending. Can you give me 2 more days? Is it possible in Agile? Let me ask, is it possible in Agile? No, we will not extend the date. If you say 10 days up, evening 6 o'clock, over, up, that's it. Whatever you've done, that's it. It's called time boxing. Exactly by this time, you're done with the login page, payment gateway, 90% you're done. So what should happen next? The product owner says, I agree, I got your login page, but payment gateway, I don't see the demonstration because you didn't complete. Now payment gateway, again, go back to the product backlog. It goes to the refrigerator. You can tell, no, Shriram, keep it in the kitchen table. We'll go and sleep. Morning, we'll wake up and start the cooking again. No. If you can't complete that evening, your mom will put back to the refrigerator. Is that right? Your mom does that. She put back the refrigerator. Even though morning she can cook, that decision she'll make in the morning. Morning she'll wake up. Now her decision changed. She slept over the night and decides, I don't want payment gateway now. Let's do something. So things can change. So that's a reason when the work is not completed, go back to the product backlog. Let the product owner decide next day morning from the refrigerator, do I need to take a payment gateway or something else? Because over the night of time, things can change. So now the review is a place where you show demonstration of what work has been completed. Mark the word, has been completed, not semi-completed. Semi-completed work is not accepted in Agile. Only completed is accepted. Uncompleted goes back. Now the question, Shriram, if a team behaves like this, they complete halfway. Next sprint, again halfway. Then what's the deal here? You guys are failing. If you ask me, there is an interesting thing in Agile. They have something called retrospective. On the 10th day, after showing the demo to the customer, you found that you completed one screen, payment gateway not done. Now team will meet for 1.5 hours. 1.5 hours discussion will happen. In this discussion, we will talk what went well, what can be improved. 2 things. What went well, what can be improved. In what went well, you get appreciation. Login skin, well done, fantastic, great job. Payment gateway, you guys are 90%, really good. But there is something wrong. Where we went, we couldn't complete. We committed for a goal, but we can't do it. Now somebody will tell that, hey, Scrum Master said he'll get some help from the third party, but actually the third party delayed. They said Wednesday they'll contact. They contact only by Friday. I didn't have sufficient time. Then somebody will ask, guys, we should have estimated better, right? No, I didn't understand the dependencies. There was a lot of dependency. Let's talk this next time. Next time when I pick up the work, we have to talk about what is this work all about. We have to get more clarity before we say we will do this. This discussion will happen in the retrospective. Now I'll come back here. So beginning, we do sprint planning for 4 hours. Every day we meet for 15 minutes. Retrospective review will happen for 2 hours. Review will happen for 2 hours. I'm talking for 2 weeks of sprint. And this will happen for 1.5 hours of retrospective. Now, what happened here? You plan it, you show that. If anything goes wrong, you do retrospective. This is interesting. Now, one last thing I want to update you. Now, with all this happening, you have to meet every week something called refinement and grooming. This is for upcoming work. And this is a place you have to talk the work elaborately. So this happens hardly maybe 10% of your sprint time, which can be 8 hours. We meet every week for 4 hours. We'll talk about upcoming work. For example, there's a payment gateway. We need more clarity. That clarity discussion should happen here. I will talk for upcoming work here. Then only my team will get the clarity. You can tell that, Shriram, my team is very busy working. Let you be busy. But how do your team know what is upcoming work? Only when you discuss with the product owner, only we discuss with technical people, you'll come to know what is upcoming work. I'll tell you, many agile teams fail. The only reason is they don't do this part properly. Since they don't do the refinement properly, many agile teams fail to achieve because they're very busy only on the work. They think somebody else will talk about the work, but actually you have to do this. So with this, I have shown you a few things. Then I'll come back to your questions. A few things. One is, on the left, you see a product backlog, collection of work. Your product owner will keep on filling this box. Do you have all the work, all the information there? No, somewhat it's there. For next 3-4 weeks, I'll have. Maybe 1 month I'll have. How much you can have in a refrigerator? Maximum you can have it for 1 month of time. That's it. That's what will be in the product backlog. From there, you will pick it up something that's called a sprint backlog. That's the work you will do for next 2 weeks of time, for an iteration, for a sprint. For that, we'll do a sprint planning 4 hours on the first day morning. Then people starts working. Every day we do daily stand-up. Last day, we do demonstration to the product owner or customer representative, showing that, hey, this is what we completed. All done, happy. Some portion not completed, it goes back to the product backlog. It can be again decided by the PO. Will it appear for next 10 days? Next 10 days, they decide. We have to just keep quiet. For that, we have a retrospective to understand what went well, what can be improved. It can be on the process. It can be something on the way we work it out. In between, we have a refinement. We keep talking regularly for the upcoming work. Does it look sensible? Do you feel good? I understood some part of ceremonies, because probably I'll explain this again next week. But for now, did you got some basics? Okay, great. Okay, let's listen to some questions. I know I shooted extra time there. But again, until you got some knowledge, it's happy and good. Let's get some questions. Okay, first thing, I want to give a thank note for this 2 days of listening. In these 2 days, you got some base knowledge about Agile. We are in the chapter 1. Usually chapter 1 consumes a lot of time because it has some basics of stuff. What have we learned in the last 2 days? We have touched base something on what is Agile. We touched base something on how the Agile system works, right? We also understood there are 4 manifesto, 12 principles we learned, okay? So what I want to see from you quickly is what you learned, what is in your brain. Santosh, I see a question from you. I'll come to your question quickly. What I want to do is hold on for another couple of minutes so that I'm going to do something with you. Right. Okay, I'm sharing a link now. I want to see from you. Can you put a couple of points, what you learned in this screen right now? I'm going to share that. Okay, you see a screen here, right? So I want you to pick up one sticky note and type, I learned sprint ceremonies. All right. If you do that, you can put it here. That comes out here. So I want to see from you what you learned here. Take a minute of time, type it here. Let's see everyone is learning properly. What is in your mind the last 2 days of time? Take a sticky note here, type it, put enter, place it here. You have page 2 also if you feel page is filled up. But for now, I think page 1 is sufficient. Start filling it. Let's take 2 minutes. Let's see what's in your mind the last 2 days, how your brain occupied the content. Let's see. Hey, people in the YouTube, I think you're doing a good job. Thanks for listening here. I think this week was helpful for you. You got some basic. So next week we'll chart more deep inside into Agile. Okay, there is a tag called I Learned Agile Manifesto, 4 values and 12 principles. Okay, very good. All right, let's see. I'll organize it. I'll put in order. Okay, once you're done, let's see how it's going on. In 2 days, take up your notes, catch up some interesting things which came up in your mind. You felt, hey, that sounds interesting, man. Right? Okay, people are going to second page. What about the first page? First page is neat and clean. Okay, so we're filling only the third page. Okay, keep going. Now we have nearly 20 plus people. We have to see more. Okay. While others are filling, just watch out. Did you also learn that? If not, you have to ask me, Shriram, you didn't tell to me this. How come this person only learned it? Right? Values and principles. I learned Agile Manifesto, values, principle, Agile umbrella, Scrum ceremonies. Very good. Learned about Agile methodologies, servant leadership, product owner, development team, PDCA, deeming cycle, incremental iterative. I learned about the scope, time, and cost variables, how they are used in Agile compared to Waterfall. Okay. Agile methods like Scrum, Agile Triangle. Very good. Very good. Okay. That's a decent one. I learned Agile Concepts Manifesto, basic Agile way of doing principal projects. Fantastic. I'm so happy. I think you got a lot of stuff and good job. I appreciate it. Let me see if anyone in the screen one. Agile and lean. Actually, we have to go a little more than lean, right? We didn't go deep there. Inverted triangle. Okay. Okay, let it keep going. Meantime, quickly, I'll attend a couple of questions here. One of the questions is from Santosh. Regarding incomplete work, before moving back to product backlog on last day, do we need to split it completed work in sprint and remaining work in PB? See, point here is you have taken this user story or a work, assuming it will be completed in the sprint now. So you've done the work half away or 90%. Now it's going to be pretty hard to split before you put it back. So if it's not done, that's it, goes back. Later, in the next grooming session, you have to bring out that item and you have to talk about it, how much you completed, what can be done there. But you cannot do that before you put it into the backlog. Not done, that's it, goes back. Right? Hope you got that.
Shriram, Santosh here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, please.
Just a continuation of that. If there is last day we moved into product backlog and the product owner wants to prioritize it in the next sprint, we don't have much time to do grooming, for example. So in those cases, what do we need to do?
That's why you have a planning meeting, right? 4 hours of planning. That we'll talk about.
Yeah.
Somewhere you have to talk, right? If not, what it look like again a burden on the team. So you have to understand why you can't do that, what to do, right? Meantime, you would have done retrospective. In retrospective, already would have spoken, what's the problem? You understand, right? A retrospective would have happened the previous evening. There we would have spoken about this payment gateway does not work. In payment gateway, this particular functionality, there's a problem there. You would have discussed it. Because of that, I couldn't do. Process improvement to be done. Next day morning, immediately product owner says that from the refrigerator, this guy takes it. Okay, guys, you didn't complete the last sprint. Now do it this sprint. Now in the 4 hours, you have to talk about it. Hey guys, there's a problem here. How to do this stuff. Then product owner sees this. Oh my goodness, there is a lot of stuff. Okay, let's put it back to the backlog. Take another item. Meantime, we'll bring it in grooming another 4 days. So there we bring up all our worries. Right? That's a point.
Thank you.
So you mean to say the retrospective will be part of sprint review, that 1.5 hour, how it is like, still it's not clear.
So this retrospective is a place to understand what went well, what can be improved.
Correct. Yeah.
So can be improved on the way we approach the work,
the
way we do the process. So this could be something on the team should get more clarity on the work. The people should ask more questions on the particular task. So that will be the takeaway. So this takeaway will be used in the next upcoming sprint planning. In a sprint planning, when the work comes in, definitely they'll ask question. We did this in the last sprint. We got stuck here. So can somebody help it more here? If not, we have to park it back. Right. Good. Okay, quick summary understanding here. Incremental versus iterative and how it works on a predictive and adaptive ways of working. Agile umbrella. All right. Grooming concepts as part of Agile servant leadership. It is very difficult to get done practically, my opinion. Even grooming is a little tough. Okay, actually grooming is very interesting if we organize it properly. Is it grooming you're talking in the predictive way or adaptive way?
It is more into the predictive way.
See, grooming. Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah, the problem that I practically face is that the team members are actually very hesitant to buy that concept and give some time from their daily schedule to do it. They say, no, Avdut, we have to do this, we don't get time. And I said, no,
Right.
you find time and then accordingly align your rest of the work. That also is equally important, but somehow maybe I'm not able to convince them.
I know it's not easy, but I'll tell you, team should understand that if they don't do the grooming, you pick up a user story or a work without having knowledge, isn't it? You're going to pick up something. There the pickup will go away. Somebody will enforce on him. See, the grooming is very important of anything. You have to understand how the upcoming work is going to be. You have to get clarity on that. If you don't get clarity on the first day of the sprint, what happens? Somebody says, hey, that's a user story to do. And team doesn't know much about it, will pick it up. Middle of the work, this guy will tell, Shriram, actually, I don't know much about this, man. Why? Because you did not participate in the grooming. You didn't do refinement at all. If you don't do the refinement, how do you know what work it is? How do you estimate it properly? You will tell it will take 3 days to complete, but actually it will take 8 days to complete. Middle of third day, you will tell there is a dependency, man. It will take another 2 days. These kind of project teams only fail a lot. The reason is they can't deliver it. When they don't have a clarity, they don't estimate properly. They don't find the dependency properly. So every sprint, a spillover will keep happening. Then they'll tell that Agile is not working.
True.
Right? That's a point. I know it's a pain. It's not that easy, but sometimes you have to educate them. Education is the only way. Very good. Nice. Good. We're top of the time. First, I want to thank you all for being here over the week. And I believe it was useful. Can we see some of your face? Say hi. I didn't see most of you today. Okay. Okay, these 2 days, was it helpful? Did you got some grasp idea about what is Agile all about? What is happening? Yeah. So as you see going forward, we'll learn more about some of the concepts like Scrum, XP, Kanban. I meant to go deep inside. I thought today I'll go a little on the Scrum, but today we consumed some time in other area. So we lost time there. Now what will happen is we'll take it forward. As next class starts, we'll do something on the Scrum and XP. And I should give you some workshop. I should give some small project for you and you have to implement it. Implement in the sense we have to do together as a team. We'll split into 2 teams. 2 teams will take a task and we'll start implementing. If you do that, you learn the theoretical knowledge and start putting into practical. Because there are some people here who never worked in Agile environment. They're not aware of it. How a Scrum team works, what they do, they don't know. So let's do a small project so that you get a hold of the subject. Hope good for you. Fantastic. Good. Let's go for some question. Any questions here? Cynthia, you want to talk here or to be in the mobile? I saw a message from you. All right. Okay. I think we are good. Now, what do you have to do? There is a writing habits given to you. I saw some of you writing it. I would recommend everyone participate. Continue the writing habit till next week. Until then, read Mike Griffith books, right? So go for the Mike Griffith book, read a couple of chapters, and then go for Agile Practice. Okay, there is a book. Just flip some pages, read something. Don't try to go so deep dive. Learn the basics now. Rest, we will start that once the class starts going deep inside, right? For now, things are good. Go ahead, have a good time. Thanks for being here. Cynthia, this is a live recording content. Probably you can reach out in my mobile. We'll talk about it. Okay. Let's have a good time. Keep learning. Agile is something so simple until you take it in a simple mindset. You think complicated, it will become complicated. So take it very simple. Read regularly, write regularly, and be a good servant leader. Good wishes. Thanks for being here. Catch you on next Saturday. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.